We are live.
You do it, Dwayne.
All right. Well, I know everybody's been looking for updates and kind of status on everything with Whitaker's and everything that's happened over the last day or so. I know it's been a big day, and I know you wanted to get on here and kind of talk through some of the issues. Um, I guess kind of starting out, how has the area been? I mean, you're out in odd West Virginia. How has it been like kind of dealing with folks in the community?
It's it's a weird thing, dude, because you got the internet, then you have the local area. I've had people finding me
Hmm.
in the local area about Patrick and something that they've done to them or some scam that's been it's been everywhere. I've
Wow.
been contacted by people how they've got my number. I have no idea. It's been nonstop, dude, and it's just I just really hate this for the guy because if anybody thinks I'm taking pleasure in this, I
No.
I'm so over it. I think this is going to be my last update. And if you know what, I was really thought about it. I was emotional when I did the update earlier because I'm just
Oh, you had all that built up.
freaking appalled, dude, at everything that's going on. And you feel like you want to get this out because you feel like you've been so wronged. And
Hmm.
then I'm like, dude, I'm not going to keep this going. This was supposed to be about their house being built, the family being taken care of, and it's turned into a circus. And
Yeah.
so, but I have to get that information out. And then when an accusation gets made, I have
Yep.
to respond. I knew I was in the public eye. You're talking about a family that already went through a scandal before.
Right.
And
And you
you
worked really hard to keep that from happening again. For
know,
those who don't know, Eric and I have known each other for quite a while, and I know a lot of the behind the scenes stuff. And from the get go, his whole thing has been about transparency. How do we make sure we help these guys and doing it the right way? That's and people don't know me from Adam. All I can tell you is that from the get go, his goal has how can I help this family, and knowing what happened, how can I make sure it's done transparently, and how can I make sure nothing like this ever happens again to him?
I
That
knew
from
I
the get
knew going into this, dude, after the stuff with Mark, that people thought
yeah,
anybody involved would be, and I knew right away if I get involved in this, I'm going to be under that same microscope. I
right,
told Pat that numerous times because of what they did with the money from Mark, and
yep,
it's just one big freaking mess, dude. I was going to be accountable and transparent regardless, but after some of the events I'll discuss with you tonight, you'll
hmm,
realize I really was, like I said, planning on just being over it. I talked to Patrick's daughter earlier who was wanting to, and I'm going to tell you, does she have some grievances? Sounds a few,
yeah,
more than a few. But that's his personal life, man. And I'm not going there.
yeah,
I'm going to keep this about the Whitakers and what our involvement was. And if she sees this, uh, I'll gladly talk to you. If I can help you in any way, if you need a listening ear, I'll be there. And I definitely feel your pain. And I believe you have a right to feel the way you do. Trust me,
yeah,
I get it. I
yeah,
get it. And I've heard this from a lot of people. But I want to keep it focused on this because right now, a family has been divided. And that was the exact opposite of what we was trying to do here, dude.
right.
I mean, it's really hit me tonight. It sucks. But yeah, the dude, locals, I don't know how they're finding me. It's crazy. It's crazy the support in this area. Any of the detraction has mostly been from like people on the internet that are trying to put
The
things
internet
together.
trolls, yeah.
I mean, I guess this is an exciting thing for some people. I don't find it that exciting.
Yeah, your goal again was to get here, help the family, get them what they haven't been able to get in the past, and you've really had hope. I mean, I'm usually the pessimist out of us, and you
We
really
had
had
it.
hope.
And you know, another thing is, okay, he keeps repeating himself. He likes to hear him talk about it. I mean, guys, you got to understand. Even now, we'll probably even have somebody on this live. Who's Timmy's dad? I've had to repeat myself time and time and time again because
Right.
people get this one video or they don't get this one. I am over it, dude. I am so over it. I miss
I can't
my
blame you.
life before this. I am proud to know that I was able to sound the alarm on abuse because Timmy doesn't deserve that. Ray didn't deserve that. And I have a feeling Lorraine was trying to tell me something. And those three can't tell you what's going
Right.
on. And they just don't deserve this. I'm going to go through some of the stuff, though, because the money is now the thing that's going on. I'll tell you from the very get-go, you know, I told everybody I called Adult Protection Services on the second day that we couldn't get the protective order because we felt like we had nothing else. Never hid that. I said, I called Adult Protective Services. Me and Timmy went and met. I told Betty that. I told Patrick that. What I might not know is Adult Protective Services had been called out to Patrick's a month prior to that. And I was told, he said, get the fuck out my yard. I will sue you and get my attorney. Get out. And they said they was legit wanting to come up and shake his hand and say thank you for helping the family. But that's what ended up happening. And then he called and told me about it. And he was like, all right, we don't have to worry about them. He's like, I told him to get out my yard. I was like, Patrick, you don't tell Adult Protection Service. I mean, I'll be honest with you, dude. I'm going to admit it. Up until that moment, I'd never heard of Adult Protection Services. We always talked about Child Protective Services.
Right.
I didn't even know. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but
Yeah.
yeah, but I guess there have been many reports that had been made, and they have to follow up on it. And they, you know, they said once they get more than one report, hey, this has been going on. They have to go check up on it, dude. And
Right.
I'm glad they do. I am glad they do. But when I met with them, I said, hey, Patrick, this last month gave me the Whitaker's money because the money went into Patrick's account that was coming in thus far. Patrick gave me their money. I'm holding on to it. I've been trying to put it in a trust. The attorney is Robert Dunlap, Beckley, West Virginia. He will vouch for me. I was trying to get it done. The day that Betty no-showed the Adult Protective Services, we was going afterwards so I could get that money out of my account. I never wanted to hold on to that money.
Right.
That all started after money started missing.
Right.
And I confronted time after time after time again. That $5,000 that I had, I guess there's some podcast reaching out to me that's wanting interviews. Guys, it people desperate for a story and to be relevant. I'm not about to sit there and make this the days of our lives. I'm sorry.
Right.
That was the Whitaker's money. There was supposed to be $74.80 that they were owed. I had it all on a pen and paper.
Can we pull that up?
You can, and I will explain this.
All right.
And now I can't read it.
Okay. Well, it says I need you to send me 74.79.93. That will be what I need for reimbursement, and also I have the Whitaker's part of their money to hold on to, which will leave you with a total of $5,954.52.
Which would have been what he was to keep, almost $6,000 after everybody was reimbursed from, like, dude, taking the Whitakers out and everything that was going on cost a lot of money.
Right.
I did it on a very tight budget. You'll hear a different story here in a minute. But I did it on a very tight budget. And then I had to pay for programs. You created the website. We had to buy it. Everything.
Buy the software, yeah.
LLC. I was trying to get them to trust. Like there was expenses that go into it. And then again, the trips, the Airbnbs. People think content creators are making way more money than they actually make. And there are some that do. Don't get it wrong. But if you think that we were just like becoming overnight millionaires or that I'm going to be able to retire, I got monthly bills and I can't stop working, guys. Now I work around the clock. Dwayne can witness to that. What I do, and if you think it's easy, come try it. It's
Right.
and it's moments like these that suck when you got all this time invested into a platform, and then you see it going away, and you're like, got to start over again. But in this case, I'm ready to start over again because I can't be a part of that no more, dude. I don't. Mm-mm. In the beginning, what it sounded like, if we can go in there, 100% of the donation money was to go to the Whitaker family. The donation money, guys, it's in the contract. I've
In the contract.
got the contract handing over to the people that need it. I've opened up my Venmo, showed them, and listen, I want to say something. I did that. It wasn't asked for. I said,
You
here,
weren't subpoenaed. Yeah,
please,
you weren't subpoenaed
please,
to do it.
No. It wouldn't even ever been brought up.
Right.
I'm like, please, let me show you. So 100% of the donation money is supposed to go to the Whitakers. The monetization off of running social media and stuff was supposed to be split between the three of us. That would reimburse what goes on here and everything. We sat down, Betty, Larry, it's all on video, made sure you understand what this means. They was happy. They was going to be doing good. They had a new house about to be built. And then, but it takes time to do what we're doing. It was never driven by the money, guys. I love doing what I'm doing. But at the same time.
Well, another aspect of this was that people were stealing content from other people and putting it on their own page and earning that money. The Whitakers never saw a dime of that stolen, taken stuff.
Until this, the Whitakers was not getting a part of their monetization. Unless, you know what? I want to put this out there just in case. I don't know the deal that the Whitakers had with Mark Laida.
Yeah.
I know about the GoFundMe money. And
I'm talking about Bob's Facebook page.
There were some discrepancies in the stories that I've been told about his involvement. So I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. Me and him have one phone conversation leading up to this because I wanted to give him respect to reaching out to him. I was very worried about when Patrick first started this because I was like, hey, that's Mark's project,
right?
And you don't just come in and pick up somebody like that. But I did talk to him, and he was respectful, and he was distraught and I'm not going to go to, and he had just lost his girlfriend, dude.
Right.
And so he was going through a hard time, and people were trying to make drama between the two of us, and it just wasn't true.
Yeah.
I was so glad to tell Mark, hey, guess what? I got right to the knee doctor.
Right.
Positive things. That was my proudest accomplishment. I think. Well, there was a lot of accomplishments out of this, but I'm not proud of the ending. Go ahead, dude.
Well, again, with the thing with Mark, though, all the comments about people, with the exception of Mark. I mean, Mark, he did his thing, did a great job, got the information out there, did a lot there, and used a lot of that money to help the Whitakers. I'm talking about the TikTokers and all those guys that would take it or drive by at 2 a.m, that kind of stuff.
I took a very bad fall before we came on here tonight, guys. Dwayne was actually a FaceTime with me. It happened. I'm in pain.
Yeah. For those out there,
I'm a little bruised up from it.
Where he's at,
where we're at. I went through a board and it hurt.
Yeah.
And my older age, I don't recover as easy. But so outside, I can't speak to what their arrangement was with Mark, but there is thousands of creators out there that has reposted their content, hey, the inbreds and stuff like that, and they wasn't making that money, and they wasn't being put in the best of light. It was
well, yours was different.
Wrong things. We came in and was like, I can do this. This is money that wouldn't be made unless there's work put behind it. You're being put in good light. My goal from the very beginning was the house, but I wanted to make sure that if something happened to Betty or Larry, that the family would have someone there to take care of them so they didn't get what just happened.
Right.
And that would have cost a lot of money, guys. Yes, let them stay at their house. And we needed to get a jump start on that because let's be honest, we never know when we're going to pass away. And I wanted them to have that there. And if it was in a trust account, if something happened to Betty or Larry, the trustees over that account are, I guess that's the word you use. I never made one before. I was learning this as I went along, but they would be able to oversee that money and make sure that it was taken care of. And it never got to that
And that's what
point.
you were saying from the very beginning of this entire process. We need to set up a trust, a way to make sure that, one, the Whitakers don't have direct access to the money because of what's happened in the past and maybe a little even more recent, and they can be managed because they're not able to handle that money.
Well, and to go further with that, let me be frank. I don't want to get their private too much out there, but yes, they got money every month. I'm sure groceries, stuff, there was assistance they were getting. I would imagine with that assistance, with 5 people, they don't ever go anywhere. They shouldn't be asking me for groceries. They shouldn't be asking me for stuff and things like. I was glad to go out there and get it for them if there's a need. Let's fulfill it.
Right.
But I was, every step of the way, hey, that money is going to take care of your siblings if something happens. Let me know what you need. But there, yeah, I would say the handling of the money was poor at best.
Right. And you wanted to change that. That was the purpose of the
trust.
trust.
If trust was there, every penny would have been accounted for. Right. Not just with Whitakers, but with me and Patrick.
Right.
I wanted it out of our hands. It was supposed to go, their money would go to a trust, ours would go to an accountant, and we was to get a paycheck.
Right.
We cut from the business. And then everything's honest. And then you got receipts and everything. Because again, my stack of receipts from this trip is like this freaking big, guys.
Hey, show your wallet.
Yes. But yeah, so this was the first time they were actually not only going to be able to make some, but they were going to be on there in a way that gave them their dignity.
Right. Those were you were, I think, a lot different is you didn't look at them as the freak show. You look at them as human. The things you did with Timmy, Lorraine, but all of them at different times was to make them feel normal.
I told people about the girl from my dad's church that had the child by her father. Her family, just like the Whitakers, dude. Just like the Whitakers. If people, this is not as uncommon as they make you think it is. Now, I'm not saying it's like very common, but they're out there. This one just so happened to get the spotlight. And I think because Ray not being able to verbalize and how he talked, and then Timmy and Lorraine, people just fell in love with them, dude. They're lovable people. But I think during the middle of that too, I think there was losing some sight of Ray sitting in his own fecal matter. He's sitting in his own urine.
Right.
He looks like he's been doing that for days. That's not. And then he just went and laid on the couch.
Right.
Nobody saying anything. There was.
It's normal.
Like I said earlier, Betty and Larry's not sitting in their own fecal matter. They know that's not supposed to happen. So, I don't know.
So again, your plan to kind of catch some of the people up here was, it was kind of an emergency that you came up here, almost 3 weeks ago, and you're accelerating the plan to get them that log cabin with the Amish. You had arranged that through other things that you've worked with, all your connections.
The original plan was Patrick reached out to me and told me that he had that video of Larry stealing gas. Oh, man. I don't know. We might need to start this from the beginning, Dwayne, because if we do, we're going to be going forward, back.
Yeah.
Back.
Maybe.
I'll do it real quick. But, I mean, I am repeating myself a lot of times, not because I want to, but I'm trying to give you the full scenario. But I'll go ahead and run through that scenario. Patrick had caught Larry stealing the gas. Patrick's leg was broken. And he was wanting to put Larry in jail. And he told him either BJ goes to jail you go to jail or you're getting BJ out. And he was kind of giving him an ultimatum. Either you go tell, because Larry was saying it was because of BJ. Right. And I didn't know up until that point. And then Patrick let me know that Larry had already went to jail for stealing gas. I didn't know any of this, dude. I was very defensive of Larry up until that point.
Right.
Go back and watch the videos. When anybody would bring up Larry, I was very defensive of him. Egg on my face now, but I would like to see the good in people. I
Right.
want to. I wanted BJ to get hope, but that was what was going to happen. But then I started hearing about the abuse, and they needed a protective order and the eviction. So first, they asked me to get an eviction notice made up, and I did, and they served her with it. Okay, but you still got 30 days, and it didn't go over well. And that's when you saw the video of her speeding by with Timmy standing outside.
Yeah.
And I told my wife, I was like, babe, I feel like I need to be up there. I feel like something's about to go down. And I hated being so far away. There's only so much you can do when you're 10 hours away.
Right.
So I loaded up. I was gone that next morning. And then when I got here, took Larry. Larry didn't really want that protective order. That was the thing between him and Patrick. I took him to do. But he was also there on behalf of Betty, because Betty had told me about the abuse and stuff while we was there. But when we got to the courthouse, he wouldn't really say anything besides she threatens to say I raped her. But then the next day, I just said, well, let me take Betty, because Betty was singing like a canary. She was like, BJ does this, does this. I really thought she wanted that protective order, you know? And she told me she did. I want BJ out. So I took her. And that the whole reason I was up here was to do that. But, and then when we got it and I was told we had 10 days, I extended it, and then I started working on the house. I might as well be doing what our long-term goal is while I'm up here from Georgia. I'm not just going to sit here and wait on the court date. Let me go meet with the Amish. Actually, there was already a trip planned. Robert Mass was flying in from Idaho the following week. That was when I was originally supposed to be coming up. And so that was like 5 days later. I could have went back to Georgia and drove back. I said, I might as well just stay here, make content, make sure everybody's taken care of. And I did a lot of good for that family while I was up here, guys. And that wasn't on camera. I was going every day and night. I went and spent $140 to get the medicines for the whole family at Kroger. I was just making errands. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? Anything I can do for you, I'm here.
Yeah.
Let me.
The internet's funny because on the one side they're saying that, oh, you didn't spend time with Larry or anyone else aside from Timmy, but then when you do show you doing stuff, then you're just doing
braggadocious.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, it's internet. Pick which one you want.
It's the internet, dude. I mean, right before all this happened, we had that, Rampage Jackson's son, where he almost killed somebody, where he was sitting there reading comments of people on the internet that have no idea what the situation was or anything, but they kept gaslighting him to the point he almost committed murder. This internet stuff is getting out of control, and it's making some people famous that should never have been famous.
Right.
Okay. It's you got to be careful with what you do, guys. And this will be one of those stories that I think will come back. But yeah, it doesn't matter what you do, man. You're gonna have your detractors. You can have it laid out, but I need to go back to the first trip. The first trip, when I started seeing the red flags that I came back and told you. Nobody knows it. Me and Dwayne recorded a video month and a half ago?
Yeah.
And Dwayne was the one in possession of it in case something happened. I was ready to sound the alarm maybe even 2 months ago. You remember the date?
I can pull it up, the date that I have it.
We recorded a video. I said, Dwayne, I'm seeing some issues here, and I want to say something, but it's going to set the internet on fire, and it's going to turn from what we're supposed to be doing for the Whitakers, and it's going to go to scandal, what it is right now. And I said, I'm afraid that if I do this, nobody will ever believe the Whitakers again, and they don't deserve this. And I was still trying to get the pieces of the puzzle, but I was very distraught after that first trip. And in a second, you'll know why.
I'm still trying to find it. I need to do much better.
Okay, we can get the official date out later. It was around a month and a half, 2 months ago, dude. It was after, go back and find the videos when I was up here the first time, where Timmy was at 7 Brew, and
July
boot barn
14th.
it is closed. The sharp dressed man video. It was around that
Looks like
time.
July 14th.
That sounds about right.
Yep.
So anyway, that was my first trip up here. That wasn't long after Patrick asked me to get involved. I was involved a couple of weeks prior. Like I said, he was wanting me to get on camera, and I was like, nope. I don't want the attention.
Yep.
I don't want to be involved. Yes, I know I'm repeating. Some of you have heard this. Some of you haven't. I'm going to go through the story. I'm going from the beginning. And I said, nope, I don't want to be on there. And eventually I did. But in the background, Patrick had me on his page. I was doing work. I was replying as Patrick, talking good to people. You go back and read some of those old comments. You'll know which ones was me and which ones was Patrick. I was not the one that told you to piss off and get the hell out of here and, different stuff. I've done some of that before, but I wasn't doing it on his page. But I planned that trip to come up here because me and him didn't know each other. I wanted to come up here and see it for myself. Okay. But I am a honest, hardworking guy. Yeah, I make content. If you think it's easy, come try it. Come try it. Because not only do you got to make it, you got to promote it, and you got to get it in front of eyeballs. It is a lot of work, guys. It's very demanding. And there is a lot of knowledge and experience that you have to do. Not with this. This is unlike anything I'd ever seen. Dwayne can tell you, when we started doing this, it's like I've never seen anything like this. You can just take a cell phone, throw it up, and if people see it's them, people go nuts. I've never seen anything like it. But if you're an actual content creator, it's a lot of hard work, guys. But I make an honest living, and then I fixed up classic cars on the side. I had my hands in several different pots, but I live paycheck to paycheck. Unfortunately, the economy sucks right now. I live paycheck to paycheck. But I said I wanted to get up here. We hadn't made any money at this point. I went ahead, drove up to West Virginia. I had the gas. Then when I got here, Patrick told me I could stay with him. I'm not bougie, guys, but there's one thing I want at the end of the night, and it's a clean bed and a place where I can decompress. I knew the environment that I was going into, and it was stressful and dirty, and I didn't let that affect me. But I did want, at the end of the night, I got to take me a shower. I want to rest and get ready for the next day so I can do it again. When I got there, I was like, what house? It's like, there was no walls. There was nothing. He had one room that had some walls. And I don't want this to come off as me putting down on Patrick. I had never said anything about this up until this point, guys. I really wanted the best for the guy. But he had a bed out on the porch. Not a bed, it was just a mattress. And he had like an old egg crate on top of it that looked like it had been rolled around in the mud. And I was like, dude, I'm going to need internet to upload the videos and stuff with while I'm here. And I was trying to do it without hurting his feelings, Again, but anyway, I went and got a hotel, so there was another expense out of my pocket. But the next day, we go to see the Whitakers for the first time.
I remember that video.
First time. I get there. They were a little standoffish at first, obviously. None of us knew each other.
Yeah.
But every one of them's face was blood red. They were sweating, especially Ray. And really, to tell you the truth, I think the worst one taking it was Betty. She was hot. That was when I made the video, like, what did I say to Ray? I was like, what you doing? He said, God. He was talking about the weather. I started laughing. I was like, did you hear him say that? I've never heard him say it before, never heard him say it since. It was just a funny moment. But they didn't have an air conditioner, Dwayne.
I remember this, yeah.
And it was breaking my heart. And I'm that guy. I see a need. I want to go. I was like, Betty, you don't have an air conditioner? I was like, we can get you a window unit. I knew Patrick had gotten some donations, and he had started a GoFundMe. He had a GoFundMe going before I got involved.
Yeah.
When I got involved, I said, get rid of that GoFundMe. That's where it went south last time. In donations, this is where this thing will go south, because you have to be accountable with every penny. And at any point in time, if you go through an accusation, and unfortunately, with what we're doing, you're going to go through accusation. You need to be able to say, hey, here's my books. Look, like I've been doing this past week. Hey, I want you to see this. Anyway, so Yeah, she said she would like an air conditioner. And then Patrick goes, Betty, we're going to go get you an air conditioner. We're going to go to town. We're going right now. I'm going to take Timmy with me. We're going to get an air conditioner. And then he put it on Facebook. We're going to get an air conditioner. And I'm like, good. Let's get into action. This is what I'm here for, you know. Get in the truck with him. We go to Beckley, and we don't pull up to Walmart. We pull up to the boot barn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what are we doing here? And he was like, Timmy needs some clothes. I'm like, oh, okay. And we was there for about the next 2 hours. And if the workers there at the boot barn hear this, they'll tell you. I'm not lying. We was there for about 2 hours. That's where Timmy was trying on the shoes, and he was saying, hey, sweetie, and all that. We did the sharp dress video. But he bought Timmy an outfit. Well, he didn't just buy Timmy an outfit. He bought himself an outfit. Timmy an outfit, him an outfit. Over $500. $500. Did you see me dress up Timmy in his vest and everything like a week or so? It was a little over a week ago when I got up here. I mean, that vest, everything, dude, I think it was like $50 head to toe. Walmart.
Yeah.
And he looked
Walmart.
sharp. You know, that's the guy that is usually in rags. He would have, you know, been appreciative of anything. He didn't need that, especially at a time where you don't have any money and like you're struggling.
Right.
Like $500. And I'm like, oh my God, well, then you know what? If that's his money, you know, he's doing what he wants to do. And then I was like, Patrick, what are we doing here at the boot barn, man? We're supposed to be going to get that air conditioner. No lie, Dwayne. He goes, I don't have money for an air conditioner. I'm like, what? Dude, we was just there at the Whitakers, and you told Betty we were going to get her an air conditioner. You said on Facebook, we're on our way to get them an air conditioner. He's like, I don't have it, Eric. And I was like, you just spent this money. He was like, that's what I sold my boat.
Yeah.
Well, but then he's telling me at the same time, truck's been repossessed or about to be repossessed. He's behind on like so many things, guys. It's not even funny. I'm like, anyway, it gets worse. So here I am, this newly involved project, my first time up here. We're already been put on Facebook. We're getting them at AC. They're hot. My biggest thing was I was worried about the family.
Right.
I went to Walmart. AC's basically sold out. So then we went to Lowe's. Thank God, dude. I found an AC that was on sale because it was a scratch and dent. There's a video of that on there. And I said, God was looking out for us. And what people might not know, I wasn't bragging to be like, look at what I got. I was bragging because I was like, I didn't have much money.
Right.
And
yeah, you couldn't afford a.
I'm like scraping here, dude. This trip was not planned for me. I'm very tight on my finances, guys. And so, anyway, we got that air conditioner. Well, so I think, here we go. We're on our way back to go to the Whitaker's home to give them their AC. Oh, he's like, you want a coffee? I'm like, no, I'm okay. He's like, I'm going to go get a coffee. Okay. I do got a coffee now. It's cold because we're outside and it's cold. So we end up at a local place called the Seven Brew. And he orders some coffee. While we're ordering coffee, there's like some teenage girls there. I think underage, probably like 16, 17, 18-year-old girls. Patrick looks at him and he says, you know who this is back here? I asked the ladies at Seven Brew if I'm lying. You know who this is back here? And there's a couple of girls that looked in the truck and he's like, no. He's like, this is Timmy Whitaker. He's world famous. You need your picture with him. And they was like, really? And he's like, yeah, all of you. You need your picture with him. And it was cringe for me, dude. It was very cringe. But Timmy got out. They all came. They took a picture. They was happy. It somewhat turned into a cute moment, but it was just like we made a scene where there wasn't a scene necessarily to be made, you know. But then, nope, not off to the Whitakers yet. Hey, man, I want to buy you something to eat. I'm like, I'm not hungry. My stomach and like stress is like, I'm not hungry. He's like, no, I want to buy you something to eat. I'm like, I am not hungry, Patrick. He's like, well, I'm going to get something to eat real quick. We get the Chick-fil-A. As soon as he starts ordering, I want 12 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. 12 Chick-fil-A sandwiches. And then, You got fries and sweet tea and everything. And I'm sitting there in the back of my mind, like, he just told me he didn't have any money. He let me buy the air conditioner. We just went to Seven Brew. Then we're at Chick-fil-A. He's getting 12 chicken sandwiches. And I'm trying to justify these actions.
Right, yeah. There's a piece I'm
like,
missing.
seriously, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, dude.
Right.
Like, it wouldn't be this crazy. Nobody would do this. So I'm sitting there thinking maybe he's buying the Whitakers a sandwich too. That was around 2, 3 o'clock, if I remember correctly. We got back later on that night. Those Chick-fil-A sandwiches, they never left Patrick's. The guy that didn't have no money. For the next several weeks until we got paid, or until I got paid from my other projects, okay? And I spent money from my other projects being up here to do this for the Whitakers. I had $100 left in my banking account. I have never been overdraft, guys, in my adult life. Never missed a house payment, anything. That $100, my insides were just boiling for weeks. I was so nervous, and like every morning I was afraid to check my bank because I'm like, if one bill hits right now, or if my girls get hurt or sick, or like I don't have any backup money, and I can't stand being like that, dude. Like my safety net was gone, and thank God I made it through. But that was on the first trip. And then I'll tell you about this. I've told it once, I think, maybe twice, but I'll go through it again because it's the same trip. That was the first big red flag I got with Patrick. Mm-hmm. And now as I'm seeing this again, I've already been doing this stuff with him. Now I've been seen because I'm there in public. That's when I hugged Ray, or when Ray hugged me on that first visit, and I sprayed his knee. Now the next day, people kept asking, who's Eric? Who's Patrick? People wanted to know. I was like, Patrick, we need to do something. Let them know who we are. It's not about us, but at the same time, let's go on there, be transparent, and let people know who we are and what we're doing this for. I was proud to do that. And that's the video that you see, Meet Patrick and Eric. And that was in the hotel that I had rented at that time. So we do all that and everything. And then afterwards, excuse me for the language, guys. I'm just going to give it to you straight. Okay? Because there's going to be some language. If it offends you, it just is. I swear everything I'm telling you right now on my father's grave, and he meant more to me than any other man I've ever met in my life. I'm being dead serious right now. I know the world's watching. I know it's probably going to be investigated. I know what I'm saying. I promise you. This live gets done. It wasn't a live. We recorded. Take that back. A few seconds later, Dwayne, he went outside with Moose, and I start hearing him, fuck you, motherfucker. You think you're so bad? Come up here and try me. And it was like that kind of language. He's getting in a confrontation with someone. Right. And I'm like, what the hell is going down, And I walk outside while he's going off at this guy, and I'm like, Patrick, what's going on? And he looks at me, Dwayne, no lie, tosses the phone at me, and he says, you deal with it, and walks off. I look down, and this is first time meeting the guy. Like day 2, day 3. First time meeting the guy the day before I went home. And I'm doing this channel with him. And we just got through making this video about who we are. He's throwing me a phone, telling me to deal with something. I have no idea. The only thing I know of it is they was just cussing each other out and wanting to fight. I get on the phone with this guy. Then he starts mouthing off at me. And I was like, hey, bud, weird. You better watch out there. I was like, I haven't disrespected you. You don't disrespect me. I don't know who you are. I'm sorry. He's like, well, this ain't between me and you. This is between me and Patrick. And I'm like, I understand that. I said, he's put the phone over to me. I was like, what's going on? He said, this guy is all over the internet trying to act like a saint. And like he cares about the Whitakers. He lived there his whole life. Or, he lived there before. He didn't do anything until they got famous. And he said, he stole $1,200 worth of tools from my grandmother. And those were my grandfather's tools. I can never replace those. And, dude, my mind was blown. And I was like, he did what? And The guy was more upset about the fact that it was his grandfather's tools than he was the money, but it said it was around $1,200 worth.
Mm-hmm.
And I look over at Patrick. He's leaning on the rail, looking down, and I said, Patrick, this guy is telling me you stole $1,200 worth of tools from his grandmother. I said, is he telling the truth? He nodded his head yes, and I'm like, oh my God, dude. I'm like, what are you doing? And he said, well, I've already told him I'm going to take care of it. He just needs to calm down. I said, I said, Patrick, if you stole from my grandmother, I'd be doing the same exact thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, Eric, it was a few years ago. I got kicked out of my house and I didn't know what I was going to do. Man, I wanted to get in my car and take off to Georgia so bad. But I got to thinking about it.
Remember?
I'm not a perfect person. I make
Yeah,
mistakes all the time. I'm sure I made many mistakes today. I made a mistake walking on that bridge and busting my ass.
you did.
Yes, I did. But I had some days where I didn't make the best of choices, and I want to see the best in people. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, he reached out to me, and I wanted to believe he did that for a reason. I don't just walk away that easily. I'm like, dude, and I had a pep talk with him. I said, the only reason I'm not running away from you right now is because you told me the truth.
Right.
That had you lied to me and I found out, I would have never talked to you again. I said, but because you told me the truth, I said, I better never hear of anything else like this again. And as soon as you get paid, you better pay that grandma. He said, I've already told him I'm going to take care of it. And I was like, well, you better. Whether that ever happened, he told me he did. Whether it ever happened or not, Dwayne, I don't know. But that was my first trip. So that's when I started like, okay, I better start doing my homework. I better start. And that's when me and you made that video. I was like, I've got a funny feeling here. Something's going on. But I wanted to give him the benefit of the doubt. Now, I will give him this. A little bit after that, he was very appreciative. And I could tell he appreciated the fact that I didn't run away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a part of Patrick that wants to be better. I think he's done this stuff for so long that
that's all he knows.
It's all he knows. It really is. And anyway, that's when I started, like I said, seeing what's going on. And now I'll go through the whole list of things. One of the things that he was saying, a lot of people were wanting to meet the Whitakers. And I'm just going to, Mark, would you mind looking in my bedroom and my backpack? And I got some sweatpants. Starting to get a little chilly. I appreciate it, bro. He was telling me that the Whitakers were wanting to do an event with a bluegrass band. There was this bluegrass band, national, very well known bluegrass band that was wanting to come down and do an event with the Whitakers, and that they would do a meet and greet. Mm-hmm. Sounds good to me, but he was talking about like a couple of weeks from now. And I'm like, dude, I was a concert promoter in my 20s. That's what I did for years. I was like, it's not as easy as just, hey, we're doing a concert. You got stage, you got lights, you got sound, you got security, you got porta potties, permits, ticketing, the people you got to work. Like, you got a lot of moving parts when it comes to putting on a concert. It's not just, hey, come on down and we're going to have us a shindig, But I was like, if you can get all that set up, I was like, yeah, man. I said, I think that sounds good, and I think the Whitakers would love to meet some people. And so that was that. And I got the text to back all this up, guys, and I won't give you snippets. I'll give you the whole thing. Okay. Like a week or so goes by, and then I get a text, and he's like, hey, I talked to the band. We got to pay them $5,000, and the band said they're going to come and play the show. Just that's how he announced it to me, and I was like, whoa. I was like, $5,000. I was like, ouch. Said, Patrick, that's a little chunk of change, don't you think? And I was like, we don't even have no money. The Whitakers haven't even been paid yet. I'm like, $5,000. And I was like, I don't think that's a good idea. Verbatim. He said, that's what the Whitakers want. And I thought about it for a while. I didn't know if the Whitakers actually wanted it or not. I didn't know him good enough at that point. I had my doubts that it was the
Yeah.
Whitakers wanting to hire this bluegrass band. My thoughts is he plays the banjo and he was open to kind of use that pull that he's got now to get on stage to be a banjo player. But I could be wrong. But I wrote him back and I said, I tell you what, I said, I'm on a very tight budget and I don't think it's a good idea. So I said, how about this? I said, if that's what you and the Whitakers really want to do, you guys do it. If I can help you in any way, you need any advice or whatever, I'll let you do it. But I'm out. I was like, I don't want to be involved. I don't want to contribute. But if you guys make money, it does good. That's all between you and the Whitakers. But I don't want to be involved.
Right.
And it was like, F it, forget it. Just never mind. Never heard about it again. I'm going to tell you right now. I don't think the Whitakers were wanting to pay $5,000. Actually, I know they weren't because I talked to them about it later. They started when I got there telling me that they were very suspicious of Patrick, which I have videos of, and a lot of these discrepancies that was coming up. Sorry, guys, I'm going to put on some sweatpants. It is getting chilly up here in West Virginia. Yeah. You got any questions for me, man? Just to split it up because I got a whole list of things.
Oh boy. Well, I mean, some people are saying, how is that believable? Again, people don't know me from Adam for the most part, but I remember having these exact conversations with him at that point. Someone did ask, like, with knowing
How is it
certain
believable?
things.
I have
Yeah,
the messages.
people were, yeah. But some people,
I have the messages, bud. I ain't coming on here to do no hearsay. If I say something, I can back it up. You believe that? I'm not stupid. I wasn't born yesterday.
Yeah, some
And
people ask,
the truth is stranger than fiction in this story because it gets much deeper. Go ahead, bro.
I can definitely agree with that. So, I mean, some people have asked, and probably a fair question is knowing what you knew about Patrick at the time, like, why did you stay involved with him? I mean, I kind of already know the answer, but
I was afraid of losing access to the family. I was not because of the money. I had started developing a relationship, but I actually wanted to keep my eye on this thing. And there was a part of me, like I said, when he told me the truth about that, Dwayne, in the beginning, I wanted to believe he was going to change. I do believe in the beginning he cared about Timmy to an extent. He took him fishing. He was spending time with him. It wasn't about money or send me this. He was spending quality time with him. And up until that time, 46-year-old Timmy had spent most of his life sitting on that porch, man. And Timmy was so appreciative of that with Patrick. And I was really hoping it would turn around. And I thought to myself, if I can get the money separated from Patrick, then we might be able to get through this. Okay. Same thing. I wanted the money taken away from me. I didn't want to be near it either. The trust, the accountants. I've got all the messages. Talked to the people that I was trying to set it up with. Back up everything. I was really hoping he would get better, dude. But then again, I really didn't want to lose access to them. I started really, especially, dude, that first trip, the way Ray and Lorraine took to me. Can anybody honestly say they had ever seen anyone that Lorraine reacted to the way she did with me?
yeah,
Lorraine's been trying to tell me something for months, dude. Months. But anyway.
So that, that all that happened, and then kind of the emergency time for you to go back to odd West Virginia.
No, there's way more before that.
Well, I didn't know if you wanted to skip over all of it because it's a lot of detail in there.
Do I need to say more? Do I need to say more?
I mean, some of the
Merchandise.
conversations you'd had with him, some of the other findings you had. I mean, I don't know how much you want to say this
I
is
mean,
what
I'll say
happened.
it all. I'm an open book, dude. He was wanting to sell Whitaker merchandise and told me that me and him could keep that to ourselves. So we didn't have to give the Whitakers any split.
Yep.
Now, on that particular one, did he put that in a text message? No, that was a conversation. But I've got the text where I crawled his ass for it. I'm like, we can't sell Whitaker merchandise and keep the money. That's their money. And I've expressed to him numerous times, people are not tuning into the Whitakers to see Patrick or Eric. You are right now, unfortunately, because we're on the Whitaker channel. But I knew you guys weren't tuning in to see me, and I knew you guys weren't tuning in to see him. You wanted to see Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine, and Betty and Larry. I think it was the three more than it was the others. But that there you go. Another one. Go ahead.
What
I'll just run into
going back to the contract and how the 100% of all the donations were to go directly to the Whitakers, did he have any issues with that?
no,
No.
because I just told him that was the way it was going to be. But I mean, he did express a couple of times. He's like, "Hey, bro, well, you got to look out for me and you in here too, and we got to take care of ourselves." I'm like, Patrick, if we get out there and we work, and we get the social media set up, you'll be fine. You don't need their money. That's their money. And 100% of anything that was sent in, like merchandise, like not merchandise, like donated gifts,
Donation.
that's
Right.
theirs. Which I'll go ahead and say that one. Everyone sent gifts to Patrick's house. Before it made it to the Whitakers, it was always opened. And they were having a fit about that. I was trying to get a P.O. box set up. Asked the post office in Odd. Actually, the situation in Odd is odd. And they're nice people. Let me say, I've never seen it where the post office is attached to someone's house. Half of the house is the post office, the other half is the residence. And
Right.
I talked to those people, and it was closed. I was trying to get them a P.O. box set up, and he said, "Oh, they can't have a post office box." Was it you that was telling me he said that on a live?
Yes. Yeah. That you can't have a PO box. Of course, he was the same person that said that you couldn't go to the doctor, but
Oh, yeah. But I'm
that's not
like,
how that works.
why can't they have a post office box? He's like, oh, they can't have a post office box, bro.
It doesn't make any sense. I'm trying. Let's see. Again. Comments are coming in. I'm trying to go here. I guess they're talking about proceeds. Who has funds? Where are the funds?
I have the Whitaker's money in my possession. I have told that to the correct authorities. They know that I have that. It was ready to be put in a trust. The Amish was ready to set up an account for the home, which would be under a financial committee. It was all set up, guys, but their money is safe. The reason Patrick sent that $5,000 to me that he's referencing to you guys, that was 2/3 of the money that they made for last month. He could only send so much in that one payment. When I tried to get the other part to make sure, because this is why the month before they made $3,000. $3,000. That was what we got paid. Okay, we're the rich internet people now. But out of that $3,000, I had to go to Idaho. I was working on the John Mass trip. I was up there for a whole week working on the murder trial. But we got paid right before then, and he was holding on to the Whitaker's money, which was $3,000. When I got back home, that was when he took Betty and Lorraine to get their makeover. He said, "Hey, bro, I'm going to have to reimburse myself out of the Whitaker's money some." And because I've been, getting some stuff, I'm like, "Hey, man, that's fine. I understand that. That's understandable." I was like, "What was it?" And he said, $1,500. What? I said, $1,500. All the messages, guys. $1,500. What in the hell did you spend $1,500 on? He's like, don't flip out, man. I'm just telling you, I've been buying them all their snuff, and I've taken them to the grocery store. What, $1,500 worth of snuff in the grocery store? And it's like, okay, I get it. You took them to get a makeover, but did it cost $200, $300, $1,500 is a lot of money, Dwayne.
Yes, it is.
In a week's time, you spent $1,500 on the Whitaker. And remember, he was supposed to be handling that money because the Whitakers weren't the greatest in handling the money. But we were supposed to be protecting. It was my job to call him out if something was going on. Anyway, the next week I come back up. So he claims $1,500. So now they have $1,500 left. Next week I come up to town. When I first got there, he said, hey, man, you're spending a lot of money. He said, would you like the rest of their money to help out with that? And I said, nope, I'll be okay. At that point, I already knew there was funny business with the money. I started spending my money that I busted my ass the week prior doing what I do outside of the Whitakers on them. When I took Ray and Larry out and got them the haircut and clothes and everything, and then took them out to eat. The same thing I did with Betty and Lorraine, and then with Timmy, then taking them to the movies. That was coming out of my pocket. And then later on that week, he asked me again because the Whitaker started telling me, hey, we feel like something's going on with that money. Again, I got all that in video. Trust me. I ain't. Mama didn't raise no fool. My dad didn't either. But he asked me again, do you want me to send that other 15, or yes, do you want me to send the rest of the money? I said, yes. Well, he did, but he didn't send me 1,500. He sent me 1,000. I said, Patrick, where's the other 500? Till this day, I've never gotten an answer. That 1,000, I'll tell you where it went to right now. $662 of it went to a water bill that I took Larry up there. Betty and them told me about that water bill. Sophia, water department. I know now it was a running toilet because this past month was $57. And Larry said the only thing they did different was turn off the toilet. When I asked numerous times before, do you think it's a running toilet? No, I turned the toilet off. Well, it was a running toilet, guys, because I ended up buying a new floater while I've been up here, and the one they had was completely snapped. And that's what it was. And they never replaced it. Would have took 5 minutes. And Larry, I think, could do that, but he just didn't. They told him, they gave him 2 blue tablets at the Sophie Water Company to put in the back tank. Take literally 5 seconds. And within 8 hours, if the water turned blue, he would know he had a water leak. To this day, still never done it. Last I heard. But anyway, they knew it was the running toilet. Whether they fixed it now, I don't know. I'm sorry. I got so many things going through my head, dude. So many things. So that was 662 of the 1,000. Then Larry started asking me to get him snuff. He wanted a roll of snuff for him, and he wanted a roll of snuff for Ray. I got it for both of them. After that, the money that they had left was around $250. I bought a prepaid debit card, Visa, at Walgreens that I have the receipts for, and put the rest of their money on that card. And I handed it to Larry at that time. Now that I know what I know now, I'd have done things differently. You got to understand, those first 2 trips, Larry was amazing, and he helped out a lot better than what I was seeing there at the end. And I said, and I told Betty about it too. I said, here is a card. If you guys need some groceries or anything goes, here's your card. I no longer have any of your money in my possession. I didn't want to have their money in my possession, but I said, here's that card. If you need it, it's for emergencies. And he said, thank you. But that 500 never came back. That plays into the story for later. Okay, when it comes into this month, when they paid that, he gave me the 5,000, and the other 2,500 never came to me. You add those two together, is what, $3,000. When that donation money came in, people oversent, and I told them to stop sending money. I was like, don't send me any more money. You go back. I beg, do not send any more money. I got what I need for the Airbnb. And then I said I would give what was left over to Patrick to get him some sheetrock and insulation. He did need some sheetrock and insulation. And I thought $4,000 is enough to sheetrock and insulate that place. I went and walked it and I sized it up. So I sent him 1,000. And then I told him that 3,000 that you owe the Whitakers at this point that I had been begging for him to send me, just keep it. Because then I had the money in my account. I was going to put it in their trust. That was where the rest of those donations that people sent me for their Airbnb, I was going to put it up there and make sure the Whitakers' money, they got their full amount for that month, put it in the trust, and we're good to go. I was trying to correct what he had taken. Cover for him. Not cover for him, but I was cleaning up his mess. And helping him out at the same time with the sheetrock and insulation. That's when the plan quickly started becoming nothing about the Whitaker home. It was he wanted to fix up his home so that the Whitakers could come in and live with him. And I'm going to tell you, Dwayne, I don't know if you've seen the home. I don't know which one would be more to fix up, the Whitakers home or Patrick's. The Whitakers home is definitely more dirty. They both got about an equal amount of work. Man, it's cold. I need to see if I can work this inside.
I was going to ask you
I'll get back in.
If the Wi-Fi.
I'm about to lose battery, and I need this. I'm sorry, guys. After this, I want to be done with it.
Yeah, my understanding for everyone out there is that after this is over, that
I don't want to do it again.
As far as updates and things like that, I know people are asking. I know people are asking as far as have you had a chance to see any of the Whitakers? And since they were picked up by APS, I've
been trying, guys. They are a ward of the state now. I will tell you, I met the people that from what I saw in that video, I met the people that have them. That was the one that came and met me and Timmy, and it was supposed to be the one that Betty was going to be meeting with too. That never happened. And they're very good people. I'm sure they're being taken good care of. But right now, I think they are just trying to make sure that the family is clean and taken care of. I'm no fan of the system. Dwayne, I have been talking about the system for how long now? But I can tell you in this case, I saw go above and beyond. And when I found out that Betty was offered a continuance on the DVP, the protection order, she said no 3 times. She was offered another one right before they came and picked them up. Do you want to get BJ out? That sounds like to me that was their way of trying to say, we're going to offer you one more time. Are you sure?
Yeah.
And when she denied it, they got him.
And see, that's weird because, I've been watching some of Patrick's videos. He had said something about Betty said that she wanted BJ out, even though the protective order, had been canceled. But there was still that eviction notice, and BJ Betty said she wanted BJ out, but then she says no 3 times to extending the protective order. That those two stories don't make sense.
I don't know who's telling the truth in this, dude. I have no idea. They named the town right. It's odd, all right. I don't know. I don't know who's telling the truth, and I'm tired of trying to figure it out. All I can say is I hope Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy are good and taken care of, because they are the innocent ones in this. They didn't have anything to do with any of this, man. Their hearts were so happy, and I loved doing things for Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy, because unlike Betty and Larry, when I did something for them, they were so appreciative. Like when I gave Timmy his cup or anything you give Timmy, he would, the phone, those hugs, man, thank you. Lorraine, same way. She loved her potato chips. She got to where she was hugging me quite frequently. And then Ray, they loved, you know, and appreciated you for doing stuff for them. You didn't get that so much on the other side. But
all right. Have you had a chance to watch? I know we probably want to get back to more of the other details, but have you had a chance to watch that video when APS picked up the three of them?
I've had several people telling me about it, dude. I can't
Watch it.
I can't stomach it. I haven't been able to watch anything with Patrick. I knew this was coming. And then the guy that, I mean, again, the Airbnb that I got for him, and went and got him the groceries, and to walk in that Airbnb, they just finished cleaning it last night. It took 3 days.
Yeah, you went kind of.
We've all had that friend that you go out for. What's that?
It looks like your video broke up there. It was 3 days to clean that up, and I know you've detailed some of the damage in there. And of course, some people have been asking, "Oh, show the pictures, show the videos." I don't know if you feel like doing that or not. And actually, your camera's a little fuzzy still.
The video is a little fuzzy, but you'll see it. She was telling us just today that there was poop all over the walls too, wasn't she?
Poop all over the walls?
Dog poop.
Dog poop. Yeah. I'm trying to figure out who.
Completely. You can't tell as much because like one of the biggest things that was the problem with it was the dip, the chewing tobacco. It was everywhere, dude. Like everywhere. In the sheets, in the floor, everywhere. The back doors, again, completely left wide open. When he found out he couldn't stay, he took off a day early and went back home. And that's when he went and, I guess, got Timmy and everything at that point, because that's when we found out BJ was there. He instantly went back and got the cash cow. Right. Anyway.
Wow.
So it was a mess, dude. Dog turds on the floor, all over the deck. But yeah, I'll put it out. Pills.
People have asked, are you going to be required to pay for that cleanup?
Already did.
Oh, you already paid for it. Okay.
I was paid all the way up until Thursday, and that was on Sunday. And I left, had a conversation with the owner, apologized profusely, told him to keep that money towards it. He bent over backwards for us. But yes, it was paid for.
Wow. Something else. So let's see. I'm trying to think of some of the other questionable things. Let me see if I can look at some of the comments. See if they have any questions in here.
Here's one. I need to get some of these out. Well, you heard about the bluegrass concert earlier. Well,
right.
That leads into the concert where Patrick broke his leg. At this point in time, I had been crawling Patrick's ass about the money, and he wasn't talking to me because he was tired of me saying, you need to be accountable. What's going on? And so, and then if I ever did something without telling him first, like, man, you're not keeping me in the loop. You know what's going on. And I always try to keep him in the loop, but I'm not going to text Patrick before I do every little thing on social media. I don't have the time for that. You got 5 different platforms that you got rolling, but I was against that concert. He knew I didn't want at that point. Like, I thought the concerts came off as, here's Patrick Rourke featuring the Whitakers. I'm here to play the banjo type thing. And then, but he just went and did it, and that's when he broke his leg. But the part of that infuriated me was the day before was Ray's orthopedic visit. We had waited over a month for that visit. Talked about it numerous times on these videos. I am in Georgia. If I was here, Ray would have been at that orthopedic visit. That first visit, took me coming from Georgia to here to make it happen. When I got here, all I needed Patrick to do was set up that appointment for Ray, the first one. And he told me he was going to do it. When I got here, this is at the time the air conditioner and all the other stuff was going on. I said, did you ever get that visit set up? And he said, man, it's West Virginia. It's not like Georgia. You don't just get a visit set up. I'm like, well, okay, but did you call? No, I hadn't called yet, but I'll get to it. When are you going to get to it? He's like, chill, man. This is what I was here for. Let's get Ray to the knee doctor. You're not listening to me. You're not going to get him to a doctor. Well, I called doctors at Medicare in Beckley. They knew Ray. They knew about the Whitakers. And they had it set up for me to bring him the next day, and where he wouldn't be around anybody, and we could kind of keep him, comfortable, because we didn't know how Ray was going to take it. He don't go to doctors. And that's the sad thing about all this. Ray is not in the greatest shape, guys. Ray is not in the greatest shape at all. It's not just his knee. Ray has lost a lot of weight. Ray's eyes don't look right to me. He's got this very big curvature in his spine. There's a lot going on, and Ray needed to be seen. But I got Ray in there, and they went above and beyond, because it was like pulling teeth just to find out his birth date, dude. Took me a while to find out that, but he wasn't even in the system. No Social Security, no birth certificate, no ID. And so anyway, we got him that visit. The doctor was super nice. Ray was super cooperative when he first got in there, and they went to do his blood pressure and his pulse. It was a little touch and go, but he quickly warmed up to it and was Ray. And they gave him meloxicam and Voltaren gel. And they told us Voltaren is now over the counter. You're going to have to buy it. Well, I didn't have it to buy on that trip because I had already spent money on the air conditioner. You remember, I'm left with like $100 at this point. So I asked Patrick, I said, they said he's got another prescription. They want him to do Voltaren gel. I'll get it. Dude, Ray didn't get that Voltaren gel until I came up on that next visit. Ask Betty. Wow. I don't know if she'll say anything in my favor now, but I had to go buy the Voltaren gel. He went almost a month without it, but he did get his meloxicam. The next day after getting that meloxicam, Ray was walking around that yard. I didn't know it worked that quick. I ain't know any medicine worked that quick. Dude, well, I take it too, but it did wonders for Ray. And but they went ahead that day and said, we have talked to an orthopedic, told him the situation, because we know the situation is unique. They're also going to bring him in, special accommodations, make sure he's taken care of, and be at this orthopedic visit. They set that up for us. Mm-hmm. And that's what Patrick was supposed to do. He didn't do that. He went to the concert and his leg broke.
So what are some of the other things that you
I don't know where you want to go to from here.
Yeah, there's still so much.
I'm looking down the feet on Timmy's face and getting Timmy to massage his feet. Timmy hanging from a tree, even though he was in a harness. You got a 46-year-old mentally challenged child. He told me one time he was going to take Timmy skydiving. He didn't sound like he was kidding. It never happened, but only God knows.
Yeah, I try to give.
Here's one, and I got the video for you. I'll give you this. Patrick and Betty. Y'all saw him all the time saying, "Hey, Betty, give me a kiss." It was cute in the beginning. It was cute until one day he sent me a video where he said, "Betty, give me a big old kiss." Betty went to kiss him. And then he was like, "No, Betty, I'm playing with you, doggone it." But you could see on Betty's face, she wasn't playing, Dwayne.
Right.
And it got posted. And I was so glad that people spoke up. They were like, this is not right. You're leading her on, and this is not right. And I went to Patrick, and I was like, you might want to read those comments, dude. I was like, it don't look good. And he got furious. All in text messages. You can see it. He was furious. And I said, and then I had to boil it down for him. I said, look, dude, you got a family that was picked on their whole life, that were outcasts of society. Nobody really spent much attention on them. You're showing up. You're spending all this time on Timmy. You took him to eat. You did things with him. And I was like, she never got married, never had kids. You're sitting here playing with her all the time about kissing. I know you're playing around. But I was like, you're at a point in time, I don't think she's playing around anymore. Right. And you guys don't believe me. I'll let you see the video for yourself. And there's probably people out there that saw it. You noticed the give me a kiss thing stopped because he was very,
Yeah, there one that I don't think I've seen it tonight, but one that's come up is this whole when you were in bed with Timmy, and I know you had to explain it a number of times, but it's one of those people ask the dumb.
I told Adult Protection Services that right away, and when people asked me on the internet, I just told them straight away. There was one night when I was there. It was the night Timmy watched ET with me.
Mm-hmm.
I look up, Timmy's got a pillow and a cover in his hand looking at me like, I'm getting into bed with you. But you got to remember, 46 years old. He slept with his mom his whole entire life. And I looked at him, I said, Timmy, no, bud. You got a bunk bed in there, and that's why they got him that TV put in there. I said, you can't. He just hopped up in it anyway. And I told him numerous times, Timmy, you need to go back in there. He wanted to spend time with me. And I really thought long and hard about this because I know, trust me, guys, I know. But then I thought about it. I looked, there was a comforter on the bed. Timmy was under the comforter with the sheets. I went and got a comforter from the next room. Mm-hmm. And I laid on top of the comforter with a new comforter. Stayed fully clothed, obviously. And
you weren't in your underwear.
Timmy, not in my underwear.
I'm jabbing a little bit on another video I saw.
I know. And that was the first thing I told Adult Protection Services when I saw him. I said, listen, but Timmy was wanting to spend time, dude, and he ate that night up watching ET with me in the bed. And dude, that kid deserved it. He never had a dad. And I'll never forget that week and a half I got to spend with him. I feel like I made a big difference in his life.
Yeah.
Not doing anything special, things that we had growing up that we take for granted that he didn't.
Yeah, going back, I've always tried to be fair and balanced with stuff, and watching the videos and stuff. I know you mentioned the hanging from a tree. He was in a harness. The only one, and again, I'm a gun guy, was when he had, even though the guy was holding on to it, but shooting off it was literally an automatic weapon. That was one where, and again, I'm a gun guy. I went shooting with my boys.
I'm armed up.
It just didn't. I don't know.
You know what? Especially a rifle, I would have had a shooting table with a whole, one of the holders. Put it in there. Timmy, come down here. I'm all for that. Teach him how to do it and do it responsibly. Yeah. But that you got to understand. Timmy was very loyal to Patrick, and he didn't want him to think he wasn't having fun. You can watch Timmy's body language in that video. Timmy runs away very quickly, but he's like, woo. He wanted like Patrick to be proud of him, like a kid wants their dad to be proud of them. But you could tell he was like, no. And then with Timmy in the tree, dude, my thing is, yes, I know he was safe, and he was. Patrick got a kick out of it. I'm all for that. I'm all for rough housing and stuff with boys and kids and dads and stuff. That kids need that. At the same time, you do have a 46-year-old mentally challenged person. If something does go wrong, what is the response going to be?
Right.
You don't get yourself in those situations.
Yeah, especially on the internet. Yeah, there were ones I thought was great. The dump truck or the crane one where they dumped water on them and stuff. That was fun. I will say I wasn't the biggest fan of the Victoria's Secret, the flipping off, and that didn't hit me.
No, not when you pled guilty to a sexual related crime last month.
Yeah.
For stalking and non-consensual distribution of sexual images and more. I didn't know he pled guilty. He told me he had a court date. And then when all that started coming out and I started looking, dude, if I was a guy that just pled guilty to a sex crime, would I want to go take a 46-year-old mentally challenged person into Victoria's Secret?
Right. Yeah.
But not only that, one of the
your phone's breaking up. Your audio is breaking up. Oh. Okay, I think Eric's going to need to jump back in. His connection's messed up. I'm going to take a look at some of the comments in here and see if I can provide, ask some questions specific to kind of what's going on. Again, they're coming in pretty quickly. Yeah, the audio is bad. We'll have him jump back in here in a second. Let's see. Looks like he's trying to enter in. I'll get him pulled back in here. As soon as, there we go. Nope. Hopefully that he's able to connect. There he is. Okay, he's back.
Down bad.
It's cold out there, I can tell. Your audio is really messed up.
Yeah, your audio is messed up too, dude. It has been one of those days.
You try to
better now. Let me refresh.
Yeah, it's still pretty messed up. All right, we'll see if we can get Eric back. Well, people are sending in super chats. I was kind of hoping that everyone would kind of pull back on those. Let's see here. All right, looks like he's trying to get back in here. Again, technical issues. That's what we were talking about. I know some people had made some snide comments about trying to get whatever, but there legitimately was technical issues that we're dealing with right now. Sounds like your audio is still messed up. Your audio is still messed up.
Yeah, it's doing it again.
Yeah, it looks like it's not working.
Give me a second.
Okay, while Eric is working on that, I can look at a few things here. All right, I guess while Eric is trying to figure that out, I'm going to look at some of the super chats that have come in and see if I can't answer things. One gentleman mentioned, can you take Timmy with you? Right now, everything is up in the air as far as I know. Again, he hasn't seen him for a while. And right now, Adult Protection Services has that part of the family. So there is no, let me just remove him for right now. So they haven't, the assumption, I wish I had better information to give you, but the assumption is that they are checking them out medically, making sure that they're able to, there we go, making sure that, they're healthy and then taking the next appropriate steps. But, at this point, everything is really up in the air.
So
right. You're back.
I can tell you from previous experience. When I told you this is what my mom did when I was younger, she worked in a place in Georgia called Pathways.
Mm-hmm.
Pathways, and that was with the state. They had apartments for a lot of mentally challenged people, and they all had their own caretaker, and they let them stay in their own apartments. But they didn't interact with the outside or anything like that. Basically, once the state steps in, they're their guardians, and there ain't going to be no going up to Ray, Lorraine, or Timmy saying, "Hey, let me take your picture" and stuff like that. They're going to make sure they are healthy, taken care of, and everything. But that's probably why you're seeing, I don't know, man. Like I said, those ladies was really nice. They're probably, I don't know what they're waiting on, dude. I don't.
Well, the assumption is the process is just going to take time. They have to medically evaluate them, and they got to figure out what's going to be the best thing. I mean, I know people have their opinions on. I mean, some people have said you should have never gotten involved and all that.
I agree. If I knew then what I know now, I agree, 100%. You got to understand. By the time I found this out, I was knee deep in it, guys. I could have got their house built. I knew I could, and I was about to. We had it set up.
Yeah.
What else to say? And for anybody sitting on the other side of that, it is so easy for you to say this stuff. The same people that are criticized now are the ones cheering us on. You know, I get it. You know, it's went to hell in a handbasket right now. But yeah, just a couple of weeks ago, you're talking about how much you love the videos and wanting this stuff to go down. And then next moment, it's easy for you to say the situation, it sucks. There's nothing fun about that situation. But they were about to get a home. I was up here working and doing good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't because of my involvement that this is going down. None of it.
Right.
And I have yet to see anybody produce one single thing that says it was. Have you, Dwayne?
No, I've seen people, alleging things.
Besides them throwing comments that they don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Exactly. Or out and out lying or providing misinformation on purpose to create confusion and issues. I mean, again, I know people don't know me from anybody, but I've known the guy for a long time. I've known his background. I know the other stuff he's done. And I've been in those conversations with him when this all first started. And his big thing, he wants to help the family. He wants to be transparent. And for the things that have been said about him, it's disgusting.
And it's people that don't know who the hell I am.
Oh, right. Yeah. They have no idea.
Dude, there is no amount of text messages or evidence that there were people that you got to understand. There were people that really, really, really looked up to Patrick.
Yep.
And this is a hard blow for him. And I'm sorry, but I'm not the one that did this. And right now, I'm not about to take the fall for it either. I have been doing the right thing the whole time.
You've been the only one. I mean, I don't know how much talk about kind of the stuff we've talked about in the past. I mean, and hey, let's do the T-shirts and the mugs and all that stuff and not give anything to the Whitakers. In fact, you said, no, that's not right. You could have easily have just said, sure, no problem.
Dude, it could have easily just said, continue on with the freak show. I mean, I didn't have to take them to the movies or go get them haircuts and new clothes and let them take a shower and stuff. I could have just said, continue on with the freak show because that's what made them famous so far.
Right. Oh, you could have done that formula.
I really wanted them to get better. And it turned into what it turned into. So, but you know what? I'm not going to beat myself up over this. I did what I was supposed to do. And
so I guess what's the path forward? I mean, obviously
there is no path forward. I would love to still build that house. I'm not building it for Betty and Larry and BJ. And I have zero interest in renovating Patrick's house.
Right.
I really never was trying to donate $4,000 to Patrick. I was trying to let you know $4,000. I was trying to get out there dollar amounts so you had something to hold accountability before he goes and holds another fundraiser. He's already got $4,000 to do sheetrock and insulation. That was what those walls needed. I know I built my podcast studio, what that cost. And then when he started talking about another fundraiser, I was like, hold up. I want to see a list, what you need, what it costs, and everything. The whole way I was a monkey wrench in everything that was going down. Dwayne, the amount of calls that I've got, not related to this, but out of scams that was going on, would blow your mind. There was another one related to this. I will keep the gentleman anonymous. There was a team of investors, high-powered CEOs, going to pay for the Whitaker home that were talking to Patrick. I had no idea what was going on. They finally reached out to me when they started hearing what was going on. They said, we saw early on you talking about the trust and the Amish and wanting to put this thing together. And we were really impressed with you. We told him we wanted to meet with both of you, and he said, leave Eric out of this. Eric will mess it up, and I'm telling you, leave him out of it. I don't want Eric knowing anything. That was not a shock to hear, but disappointing. But then we go for it. These guys sound like they was going to, you might not have needed many donations. They were ready to go in there, and they were serious.
There is one I wanted to bring up.
They were trying to set up a trust like I was, because they said they weren't just going to put in big sums of money into nowhere. And they said Patrick kept telling them, hey, just send it to me, put it in my bank, and I'll take care of it. And they said, that's not how this works, dude. We're not going to send $70,000, $80,000 just, like in a thing and not know where it goes. Like, you have to show where the money's going. That was what I had been going through the whole time. Well, then it goes a little bit further. He said where it really took the cake, it's there at the end. It went from, hey, plans change. We're not trying to do the Whitaker home right now. That's going to be down the line. Betty's going to move in with me now, and we're going to renovate my house because we're not going to have time to do it before the winter. So he's talking to this big team of investors about fixing up his house. This is after he already got money, I believe. This conversation had been going on for a while. He was like, this guy was wanting us to fix up his house. I know you guys heard this on the lives. It does not take a detective to hear what is going on here. Look, maybe there's something about my personality you don't like. And you just can't accept the truth. But it's slapping you right in the face.
There is one that I'm now remembering that, and tell me to shut up if you don't want it brought up, but earlier on when Patrick was doing those live meet Timmy FaceTime things, had you wanted to make money off of this, you would have not said anything. But you immediately kiboshed that and said, no.
I found out there was a secret group they were calling Timmy Time. There was a bunch of moderators that had got on that Whitaker page that I had created. Wasn't too hot about that because they were stirring a lot of chaos. I found out they were getting in donate. I just got an unknown call. I wonder who that's from. Can you still hear me?
I can still hear you.
Okay. So, yeah, I bet this is getting somewhere. What was we talking about? Just get me pointed in the right direction again. Timmy Time.
Timmy Time, yes.
Time.
Yeah.
So I found out they were telling people you can do FaceTimes with Timmy as long as you give us a donation. They didn't say how much of a donation. Just give us a donation. When I found out about it, I was livid.
Pissed.
I found some of the gentlemen that were paying money to get that thing. And I found the number. It got passed to me through an anonymous source that was trying to blow the whistle and say, Eric, something's going on. I contacted them. And I said, you're not supposed to be doing this. I was like, the Whitakers are not supposed to be treated like this. And we have to keep record of what's going on. I had no idea this was going on. Who told you that this was going on? Well, then I find out they got this group that they had created. Again, I had no knowledge of, where all these Timmy Times were being set up on iPhone. If there was anybody that ever participated in one, please let us know. And I got it squashed. And I started doing like public posts, no donations until we get the trust set up, or with the Amish. I was really hoping if I could get the money out of the way that he would be okay. but it just started getting more and more egregious, dude. But yeah, I had to squash that. I don't know how many people ended up doing that, but like I said, there was a whole group. It was already going on, and it almost got dirty there for a second because I stepped in for the Whitakers big time. Like this is not happening. And then Patrick got mad at me. He was like, "Well, what do you want me to do then?" I was like, "We talked about Cameo." I was like, "There is a platform where people do that stuff." And I was like, "If you want to do it over there." And he started begging me to set it up. I set it up. I guess he's done some over there. I don't really mess with any of that. It was never really my thing, but that was me trying to say, if you are going to do it in a way that's honest, where at the end of the year, you pay taxes on it. This is what came in. This is what goes to the Whitakers. This is what goes to you. And then everything is honest. But that's not what was going on here, guys. And I can tell you, if what part of the money that they were owed off the monetization wasn't making it to them, I guarantee you that money didn't. I have no idea. When I did take donations that one time for the Airbnb, I think 10 minutes later I said stop, because I did not want to. I really didn't want to do it in the first place. Look how long I've been in West Virginia now, guys. I didn't have it to take that hit. You saw what we got. I was transparent with you there too. That was more than the first month's pay. Anyway, I put a stop to it. We have to know what's coming in. I don't want to battle with Uncle Sam. I don't know if you guys have ever been in one, but you got to let them know what's going on. And other than that, it's just what you do. It's just what you do, man, as a decent human being. So,
yeah, again, you've been transparent since the beginning.
I can't hear you, Dwayne. Give me a second.
Oh, yeah. I'll just say before he gets back on, Eric's been transparent about this. I mean, we've had private conversations, obviously the public conversations. He's been extremely transparent through this entire process. Some of the information hasn't become available at certain times because there are things that are moving. When he was taking those steps to get that house built from the Amish, he couldn't telegraph certain things. I just wish people would understand that.
They have no idea what my hand was tied up with, dude. People have no idea what my hands was tied up in. And you got BJ calling. You got BJ calling me. Then you got Larry calling me. Then you got Betty calling me. Then I got that on top of that with Patrick. I was the only one actively trying to get that house going. I was the only one that ever did work towards what we were supposed to be doing.
And you did it. That's the thing
I did it. Do I need to go interview the Amish? I don't know if they'll grant me an interview or not, but they're pretty honest people. And Robert Mast, John's dad, was the first one to write a check for it, dude. He cut a $500 check before the account started with. And it was just such a good plan. It was what I had been wanting the whole time. Accountability, transparency. They had a financial committee, and they were going to watch it like a hawk. And it couldn't be gamed. And I think that's where a lot of this started going south. If I'd have got that trust set up, the day I was supposed to get the trust set up, where none of the money could have been fooled around with, is the day she no-showed. And it wasn't just Adult Protection Services that she no-showed. It was the day that the trust account was to get set up to where, hey, every penny's got to be accounted for.
That's when all the challenges came in. So, I mean, you're saying there's kind of no path forward. What if?
I don't know that I want to be involved in it at this point, dude. Look at what this is causing. I don't want my family to do this. This is not what it was supposed to be. This is not what it was supposed to be at all.
No, it wasn't.
I was so happy to come back to Betty that day after the Amish with those papers and say, we're ready.
Done.
Went to Lorraine. I said, Lorraine, we're going to build you a house. And she shook her head. Yeah. Timmy was excited. Timmy, you're going to have your own bedroom. They was going to do it with heated floors. Man, they would have been spoiled. I want a log cabin. I would love to have a log cabin.
Me too.
I would love to have it, dude. And I don't think Betty knew when she talked to Adult Protection Services and went up to the courthouse and reported all that abuse, when they let BJ back in, what that was going to cause. If Adult Protection Services didn't do anything and then somebody got hurt, you guys would cuss them out. And, you know, it's one of those situations you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. But at the end of the day, there was some stuff going on, and I still don't know what Lorraine was trying to tell me with her head, Dwayne. I asked her numerous times. I never was with her alone to ask, but I said, "Is that a bee sting?" No.
Yeah. Yeah. Some of the comments are. I'm just almost shocked that you have to go through this part again if you want to go through this again. So the protective order, when it got canceled.
This is why people think I like doing it over again. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead. We're going to do this one more time. And everything they need is in this video. I don't plan on going through it again.
Yeah.
If wants to come up with accusations, I'll say this, guys. I'm sure this thing will be investigated. Wait. Please investigate it. I want it to be investigated. I'll be here smiling when they come. Just watch. And then I wonder if you think the people that don't believe it would say sorry. I doubt it, but
oh no,
it's coming.
No, they
you can't exploit a family like this and get away with it.
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, yeah. So after you secured the house that with the help, the help of the Amish and everything, and again, to believe what's being said here or some of the comments, you then squashed the whole thing for, well, again, for them to say that you caused the protective order to get canceled. And
that's what they want to put out there. That's what they wanted. That's what they wanted. I have told you guys, these must be people that are tuning in late. I've already went through this again. This is confirmed. If you don't believe me, go do your homework.
Oh, he's upside down now.
I'm getting no caller IDs. Who do you think that is? Anyway.
Wonder.
Oh, yeah. They're mad. But as I said, everything done in darkness will come to light. The protective orders. If you don't believe me, do your homework. Like I have. I've done my homework. There was 3 continuances offered, even though the court date was missed. Yes, the court date was missed. We went 3 different times for a protective order. 2 times it got.
Lost him again. And it looks like we're still having some technical difficulties. I guess for everyone. I'm trying to pick up where he left off. And he's completely off. Hopefully he'll rejoin because, again, I'm sure he wants to go through this one more time. But I guess to summarize it, I mean, he did not cause that. Yeah. Okay.
What do you think's happening? It happens again. I'll just get on Mark's phone.
Okay. Someone's trying to blow your phone up so you can't.
So I can't do this. Yes. With no caller IDs. Yeah. Protective orders. 3 different times. A continuance was offered. And Betty denied it. They said, we will give you that order back if you really want BJ out of there. No. Before they went yesterday, they offered again. This is as far as I know at the moment. Are you sure? No. Well, you just picked a person that you admitted to us abused the family and put them through literal hell. What did they think was going to happen?
Right. And that video.
In that video, you see me immediately call 911. Right. Immediately. I said from the very beginning, we got 10 days. I thought we had 10 days. I guess that appointment was set for September 4th. Guys, that day I was with the Amish. I was busting my ass. I had already put my Airbnb until that next week. If I made a mistake, it was not purposely. But take all that out of the equation. They offered her again after that, even with the court date missed. Do you want it? No. You can't blame that on me. Betty was the one whose name was on that protective order, not Eric Carroll. I took her because she told me she wanted it.
Yeah.
I was doing what she wanted. I have done nothing but try to help this family from the moment I came here. Mm-hmm. And I was really the only one advocating and trying to put roadblocks up for them. You better be glad I came in the picture, because where the hell would it be right now? Some of these people are crazy, man. Anyway, get off that. For the people that are genuinely interested in the story, I'll talk. Some people, they don't want the truth, Dwayne.
No, some of this.
They don't want the truth because they had some scenario in their mind and now they're being proven wrong. I thought I had it right. No, you were an idiot.
So, I guess next steps were, you mentioned.
Dude, my next step is to go back doing what I was doing. I like to make content to try to show the injustices of this world. One of the things of Dad Talk has been put on the side. You know, one of my biggest cases that I was working on was the Younger case, where he's been fighting to make sure that his son doesn't get turned into a girl. And as far as we know, I think that process is already started.
Already underway.
He's been going through it since he was 7. He's now 12. His name's James. They want to call him, they did want to call him Luna. We've been told they've put in for a name change. And
Jeff can't even know what the name is.
He's not even allowed to know what the name is. And because he doesn't want his son to be turned into a girl, he has lost custody of both of his sons. This is a very real case. Very, very real. He's not the only one. I've got several other dads I've been fighting for like that. And I've been working on that case for years, before it was popular, before he went on Soft White Underbelly, before he went on Tucker Carlson and all that. I was on there, and I was nothing but an internet platform. And when I spoke about it, I faced severe consequences on my platform for trying to speak up for this kid, because I don't know if you guys remember, even just 3 years ago, speaking up against stuff like that came with very big consequences. Yeah. And I just couldn't sit by and watch. And there's many other stories that I would like to cover and be involved in. And I'm very passionate about it. I was asked to help. And I thought I was doing something good. I really did, guys. If I knew it was going to be this is what I was trying to avoid. In the text messages, you'll hear me all the time. Dude, if you don't do something, this is going to turn into a scandal, and you don't know how big this is going to be. Yeah. This is a family that's already been through scandal before. You don't understand what this is going to cause. And that was prophetic.
Unfortunately.
Yes.
Yeah, I was kind of hoping that this week would have been spent drawing up plans, getting the all this stuff measured out.
Mark came here from California, dude. He spent his own money to get out here. He paid. We went and met the day about this went down with BJ. Went and met with the surveyor there in Beckley. Mm-hmm. Paid him, and they were coming out to survey the property. That was why we was back there on the property trying to find, because we found out their house was in the flood zone. They could not build there. Right. Not only that, it wasn't their property. Their property was on the other side. We were trying to find out where it was going. Everything was going good until I saw those hands in that camper. And that was what, Betty's the one that wanted that protective order and said she wanted BJ out of there. I was the one that drove her. She was the one that got the protective order. I was the catalyst that helped her pull it off.
Yeah, if people pull their emotions back and whatever is going on in their minds and actually just kind of watch as everything unfold, you see what really happened.
It's ridiculous.
And for people to come to other conclusions, it just makes no sense.
Dude, there was people that thought they had it so figured out. I told them every time, I'm like, you guys think you know what's going on. You have no idea. You really do. You have no idea. There was breadcrumbs left the whole way. I told you that guy you actually sent to me, that YJ the author, dude, I really liked his coverage. He was pretty spot on. That guy figured it out.
Yeah.
I would say he was about 95%. And this was before I really started saying much. I was like,
yeah, I was
picking up on it.
Yeah, when I saw that on YouTube, I was like, this guy's, you got to figure it out. Okay. But,
you know how crazy that is to get on YouTube and seeing somebody make a YouTube video about your YouTube video?
You're telling me.
Yeah, it's a little crazy, man. I don't want this, guys. I can't continue on with this. I can't. If I find out an update about the family, I'll put it out there. As far as trying to salvage, I don't see no salvage in this. Unfortunately, the damage has been done. And it was not me. I was here to build the house.
Yeah, I mean, people are asking about, the house, and
what do I do, Dwayne? If that house can be built for Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy, and they're going to be in there, I made a promise to Timmy, I'll keep it. But if Timmy, Ray, and Lorraine ain't in the mix, neither am I.
Right.
And until they're in the mix, I'm not in the mix.
Right. And because people don't pay attention, why do you not want to have BJ and the others as part of this?
They admitted that she was abusing them, guys, numerous times. Numerous times.
Are people listening?
Once, not just her boyfriends that were involved. And Ray. When I heard about Ray, that was my first time. And I think there was much more. As it sat there would be another instance that came out. And I'm like, what? And then the saddest part about this, Dwayne, is you hear about these instances of abuse. Guess how many of them was reported?
How many?
0. Every one of them got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd be a shitty human being. And Adult Protection Services would be a shitty organization to hear something like that and to turn a blind eye.
Yeah.
If you want me to build a house for her to go in there and continue, did you guys not see Timmy's head? You weren't here with me when I was having to console that boy because he was distraught over BJ. He can't stand BJ. If you could just go back and watch when BJ's name was mentioned. It's not good. That was the reason about his head and everything. Last I saw the boy, his head was healed, Dwayne. He hadn't been around BJ.
Yeah.
I mean, but if you think it's okay for them to abuse them, you're as crazy as they are.
We're just kind of talking back and forth a little bit, but that's the part when I saw people pushing back. I'm like, wait, how? That means that person would be okay with them being abused in that house.
I think it might be people, and I mean, I can understand why. There's a lot of content out there. They're getting parts of it and not getting the full story. That was the reason for this one last time. I hope I've went through this to the point that it tells. I mean, can you think of anything?
Your mom ran aftercare stuff.
My what?
Mom ran aftercare share stuff with mentally challenged people. Everyone's asking about Timmy, Lorraine, and Ray. What would be some of the stuff that your mom provided
Okay.
that they may be getting provided right now?
Mark said, and I like questions like that, dude. They said, somebody in the comments had said something. Those are, good. That my mom was in working with the state and helping the mentally challenged. What would be some of the stuff that they provided? I told a little bit about that earlier. The state had, in different cities, they would have like apartment buildings. I mean, they weren't advertised, hey, this is for mentally challenged.
Right.
It's just a regular apartment building. And they were sprinkled in there just like normal everyday folks. But inside of there, they had a full-time caretaker. They would make sure they were dressed, they were fed, they were washed, clothed, every one of their doctor's visits taken care of. The family could come visit them. I don't know if that's going to be the case there. If that is the case, Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy would be happy, fed, going to their doctor's visit, getting their medical needs, and I would imagine Betty would be able to visit them later. I don't know. I'm not a part of that. Not me, but I would imagine, because that's what would happen. His family was allowed to come and visit them, but they had the care they needed there because they were deemed incapable of providing that for themselves. And let's be honest, Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy, can they provide that for themselves?
No. Taking to church every Sunday.
And yeah, I mean, if they want to go to church, the state allowed them to go to my dad's church. They had their own van and they would get in and they all came to church on Sunday. So I can't say that's what it would be here. I know in Georgia, it was something called Pathways. I want to say in West Virginia, it's called ResCare. I think ResCare was actually going to be one of the ones that they was trying to set up to come and give Betty a caretaker for 8 hours a day. Like, that was what Adult Protection Services was trying to set up for Betty the day she missed the meeting. She told them she wanted that she missed that meeting twice.
Mm-hmm.
Twice. They were going to get her that caretaker. Dude, she would have one at her house to help take care of Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy and clean the house. Make sure they were fed and clothed and just taken care of, dude. That would have been a big help, and it was free. They were going to take care of it. Everybody, one of the biggest questions I used to get all the time is, if you do build a new house, how are they going to keep it clean? Or what are they? Well, that's what I was telling people the whole time. I wanted to get a caretaker. Well, they knew that was my idea. And when we finally started talking, they was going to get her a caretaker. It was amazing.
Yeah, it all worked
Because
out.
it's supposed to be this way.
Yeah, it all worked out.
Anytime, look, I faced the allegations early on. Adult Protection Services were the ones that went down to Betty to set it straight. And they was like, the reason he's trying to make sure your family stays here. He's trying to build you a house so that they can stay here. We've had 60 calls on you in the last few months. People wanting us to take you away. He was trying to build you a home so that you can take care of your family. And we were trying to get you some resources to help take care of the family.
Oh, wait, you weren't trying to take them all away, as people have put on the internet? It just kills me that people like the
honestly
drama.
think, though, dude, those are probably planned people.
Yeah.
I tell you, BJ had a lot of those too. When BJ first got kicked out, the amount of blowback, people like it was like wanting BJ in there. I knew better,
Why
yeah, it's just
would someone?
dude, I've heard from the locals and the people around this area. They know the story, and it's just one of those. People talk trash, dude. I've seen the people reaching out. They know the story. They know.
It's just, yeah, it's just the amount. I mean, you got a guy that's trying to do the right thing, and he's getting all of this nonsense thrown at him. Like,
I was going through that nonsense before all of this went down. There was numerous times I was getting heat thrown at me for what was going on with Patrick.
Oh yeah, I don't know if you want to go into that.
But I was just all the time. And I didn't say anything. And that's not the easiest when you're sitting here busting your ass, doing the things that I was doing, and seeing people accusing me of stuff that I was the whole reason it was being blocked.
Right.
And I had to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. Because you're looking at the greater good. You're looking for the bigger picture.
Yeah.
When things get better.
That old saying goes, you wrestle with pigs, you both get dirty, but the pig likes it. I don't like doing this right now. So
yeah.
I'm ready to get
ready to put this anything behind you.
Anything else?
There's, I mean, people have been donating.
You don't have to donate, guys.
I know. I'm like,
you don't have to donate.
See, people are asking about the
those donations are monetization. So I don't want to go through it.
Yeah,
you don't have to donate. I'm asking you not to donate. Yeah. I don't want you to donate. At this point, I don't want no money. Don't donate. Please. Thank you for that.
But, yeah. Let's see.
And I know your heart's in the right place.
Yeah, I mean, you've had to deal with a lot of stuff, and people are again very supportive.
Anything? He's been really good. I want to say something. If I was going through this and didn't have my friend here with me, I don't know what I would have went through. I am somewhere completely away from home, fighting this war. This has been a war for me. I don't think I'm going to realize the toll it took on me until I get home and say it's over. This sucked, dude. This sucked.
Yeah.
But having him here as a shoulder to lean on
having your bros there.
I love you. Thank you. And I know Dwayne would do it too. And I've got a few others. I'd rather have 5 nickels than 25 pennies. I got some good friends. I got some good friends, man. And if you got them in your life, guys, make sure you appreciate them. And Dwayne's been good about getting on here and reading these comments because I haven't had my computer. So.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff there.
These are the guys that know me the best.
There's a lot of good people in West Virginia.
Yeah.
And I think this is overshadowing them.
Yes, thank you for saying that. There is a lot of good people in this area, dude. The majority of the people we have met are very good people.
Mm-hmm.
Don't let what a few have done speak on the others. We have had like some of the most amazing people doing so much good for us, dude. The condo owner. I hate that condo story is turning into the poop, the dip, and the pills on the floor rather than the guy that got a new TV on a Sunday and had someone come install it for Timmy so that he had a TV in his bedroom in that condo, or went and upgraded the internet because I couldn't upload the content that you guys have been watching.
Right.
It was amazing. Amazing. But it turned into something else. And I like to mention those type of people because they went out of their way for us. You know what? It's not what people do it for, but it is nice to feel appreciated sometimes, you know? And instead of that, instead of like me being able to show him appreciation, I'm having to say, I'm sorry, you know that's not a reflection on who I am. I wouldn't do that to you. My condo didn't look that way. I took off the bed sheets. I got all the towels and had everything ready to go. All the dishes in the dishwasher, counters wiped off. Mine didn't look that way. My couches didn't look that way. But that just, you know what? If a friend, we talked about this, Dwayne, when you came and stayed at my house and you used my vehicle, it came back with a full tank of gas. I didn't expect that from you, but it's just one of those things. If your buddies take care of you or do a favor for you, you pay them back in return, you know, because you're appreciative. That wasn't what I was expecting. Well, it kind of was what I was expecting, but I was
You're hoping.
praying for a different outcome, dude. Every time I gave grace, it smacked me in the face.
Yeah.
I want to give some names, if you want to repeat them.
What's up?
I want to give props to some names.
Oh, he wants to mention a few people that have helped us along the way. Linnea and Doug Brooks, for one, man, from the area. Amazing people. Thank you. Thank you. You guys have no clue. It was amazing with Timmy. Who else?
Becky Meredith down at County Permitting.
Becky Meredith down at County Permitting. When we were working to get the county permits, they went above and beyond, guys. They really did.
Shout out to the nurses at when Ray got his knee taken care of, that the entire staff.
Oh,
there.
yeah. Doctors at the Medicare, dude, which I gave them a shout out that day because they didn't have to do that.
Yeah.
Billy Michael, Raleigh County Commission.
Billy Michael, Raleigh County Commission, went above and beyond. He was the one that told us about the flood zone and everything and got that printed up for us.
Syntech Engineering that was going to do the survey.
Syntech Engineering that was going to
do the
surveying.
And the Amish.
And the Amish custom wood cabinets. Dude, this is some of the coolest furniture I've ever seen in my life. And best food I've ever ate in my life.
The market.
I could only imagine.
Don't forget the market.
And only imagine what that house would have looked like. When I stood on his deck overlooking the valley, you could see the whole valley. Then they had this pond down there where they used to have exotic animals and stuff. It's like something out of a movie, dude. You can't even put it into words. I can only imagine what that log cabin would have looked like. They were about to be spoiled.
Yeah. I keep hoping something's going to happen and you're going to get a call in a week or two from APS and they're saying, let's do this.
Well, at this point, from this moment forward, there's no use in doing anything until we know.
Right.
All this attention and the bloggers, I've had people, I need you to come on my podcast and different stuff like that. There was one like Creepalecha or something like that. Was getting like, and then asking me about the 5,000. You don't even know the story, man. You're wanting me to come on and talk. You like, I'll tell that for myself. No disrespect, but you're making a mountain out of a molehill. I mean, well, it is a mountain, but don't get me wrong. We don't need to go that much further into it. Right. Let this be the end of it. And at this point, we'll find out who's telling the truth, because I can guarantee you see what happened with Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy. Somebody's looking into it.
Two last people to.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, so yeah, you've pretty well said this is going to be kind of the last one on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel for now. And then, may get shut down at some point, or
I don't know.
Miracle happens.
Don't know. I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah, I need to wait.
They need, if somebody comes and they need that channel or messages, here you go.
Oh, well, yeah.
Open book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't forget Mr. Mass and the pastor. Without them, this wouldn't even.
Oh yeah, I mean Robert Mass coming. I mean, I can't express the goodness of that man, not just with this trip, and then the pastor of the Amish. Good people, dude. I actually had an Amish man riding my car, Dwayne.
I know you were sitting there, you're like, wait, can we do this? He can't drive, but he can ride.
I'm not.
He's not just an Amish man.
Yeah, he's not just the Amish. He was the bishop.
He's a big deal.
He was over the whole community. But I ain't trying to call him out here. He was happy to be in that car.
He enjoyed those creature comforts.
And I took him to the market, and he got to bring his groceries back. And I think he was happy to be able to bring those back in the car.
Right. An air-conditioned car.
All right, I'll leave him alone now. I don't think he's going to be watching this.
He
Something
probably won't be
tells me
watching
he
it.
won't be watching this. But no, dude, you would think that like talking to them might not be as easy to cut up with like we are. Dude, they are some of the most humorous and funny people I've ever met.
Oh, and the family
Great
values.
person. They got family values, dude. And that goes a long
Well,
They can live off the land, and the government hates that.
Yeah, I started talking to them about some of the stuff I do with dad talk, like Jeff Younger's case, where he was just like, I can't listen anymore, stop.
yeah.
And it was like, we don't even, oh my God, he was so upset about it. You know?
Remember he said, we haven't changed for 1,000 years.
Yeah.
You guys
When I asked him, I was like, can I ask? He was like, why are you guys so different, you know, with the things you do and with the religion? He was like, we're not different. We've been the same for hundreds of years. He's like, we're not the ones that's different. They're the ones that's different. The world's the one that's different, and it's changing every day. We haven't changed. We've been sitting on those same values. And I was like, doggone it, that's a good answer.
Yeah.
That better not mean I have to grow a beard like that.
I wonder what would have happened if the Whitakers been born into the Amish family, how they would have probably cared for them. They probably would have made sure they had the best life they could have.
I don't know. I want to say something. I do. I just hit my heart. I do feel sorry for Betty right now. She's been with her family her whole life. She might have made some bad choices. I do feel sorry for Betty right now because she's always been with Ray, Lorraine, and Timmy. And now they're not together. I can't imagine how hard that is for the whole lot of them.
Yeah, they've been
I really can't.
Her entire life.
I hate that she is going through this right now.
They chose PJ.
I didn't cause this. She was offered. But my heart still hurts for her because I do believe she loves her family. I believe she made some poor choices, but I do believe she loves her family. I think the cameras coming in there, which was done way before us, and them finding out, hey, this could be really nice. We can make some money off this. You know, I don't know. The problems might have been there long before that. I'm sure they were. I was told we're familiar with that house. We've been there many times over the years. So, you know, but be careful who you make famous on the internet, guys. You may think you know them by the way they smile or the way they laugh or joke with you and what they tell you. Generally on the internet, people don't tell you who they are. They tell you who they want you to think they are. You don't know what's going on inside of that person's mind, in the background. I think it sucks that on the internet now, when stuff like this happens, it's like a divorce. People are trying to find any little bad thing they can to be like, oh, see, that's who they are. There's no perfect people on the face of this earth, but you need to be very selective in who you put in positions like that, because it may be giving power to people that might not need it.
Deserve it.
Yeah. I'll say this feels like a divorce in many ways.
I was talking to Randy about that the other day.
It feels like a divorce in a way because I'm having to state my case. This is what was going on. This was my reasoning. I didn't know that was going on. And I'm not going to get into that's what I said. Like, I talked to his daughter. I feel sorry for her. She has very personal feelings about it. But that's not what I'm not here to assassinate his character. I told the truth. I never told anything outside of this is what happened. And this is what was going on in that point in time. So I'm not going to go down that road. And trust me, if I wanted to go down that road,
Well, indeed,
the people in this community, I don't think would. I don't know if I could. Yeah,
I'd say,
you're
you
not
know what?
well here. Show it to me.
Let's for people that want to do whatever, you might just want to just move on to the next thing and not dwell on that one.
That's the record. That's the record, Dwayne. That's a lot of charges right there, bud.
Yeah.
And I really didn't want this to happen to him. He, and I also don't want this to become a nobody can change thing for my mind, or that nobody can do good in the world. The one thing that hurt me from the very beginning is that nobody would do anything for the Whitaker family unless they had to be exploited. There are good people in this world. I've been seeing them all over West Virginia. I mean, all over the place. It doesn't always end up like this. But I didn't know it was like this. I probably should have done a little bit more digging early on myself.
You were here to be a detective.
A lot more.
I wasn't here to be a detective, dude.
Right.
I wasn't here trying to.
It's here to build a home and help a family.
Yeah, build a home, help a family, let them share what they was doing with the world. They was doing it before I got here. And I think the biggest thing, misconceptions, even Adult Protection Services said this at that meeting. They was like, when the people reach out to us, they're of the impression that the Whitakers are doing this against their will, or that they don't want to do this. It is the exact opposite. They wanted it. Yeah. It was already going on, guys. The only thing, I came in here, I knew the structure because I do it with my podcast. I provided the structure, and then I started providing hey, here's the rules and regulations and the yellow tape we got to put down. It's not exactly just do it and, party time. You got to keep the books. Got to have transparency. You got to be honest. And, I know that stuff's not fun. I mean, I know it. God knows I hate doing taxes. It's hate that time of year. Like, I got to go through all these charges again and go through this crap, but it's got to be done. It's just one of those things that you do.
Gotta be transparent.
You got to be transparent, dude.
Well, before we sign off, is any other? I'm
really trying to think, dude. I'm really, really trying to think.
Yeah,
yeah, everything happens for a reason, dude. I think it's one of those that we're not going to know why this happened. We may not know why this happened for a while.
Maybe we weren't here for Betty and Larry.
And yeah, dude, like Mark said, maybe we weren't here for Betty and Larry. Maybe this whole thing got a wrench thrown in it because it's like, hey, I know something you don't. I don't know. I'm trying to see a silver lining here. I'm just looking through these notes. Anybody want a videogram with me? I'm kidding. Can we laugh for a second?
Yeah, I got a little bit of fun with it. Yeah.
I can if you want one.
I found BJ's trash can.
I'll say, I do want the best for everybody, BJ included. I'm sure everybody here does as well. I hope they get help.
I'm going to tell you something else. I want the best for Patrick. Even with what he done. You do the crime, you do the time. I don't know. There's always a time to change. I know there's kids out there that would probably love to have a father to look up to. And I know what that's like. Let me say that I sat there and watched Robert Mass forgive the person that killed his son 10 feet away from him just last month. And that inspired me and said, and he meant it. If he can do that, I felt like this big. I'm like, I hold grudges sometimes. Like you do me wrong, you show me who you are, I'm gone. I've been working on that forgiveness thing. It's not easy, but it is liberating. Like when you finally get that off your shoulders. I hope that Betty can figure this out because I know she loves Betty, Lorraine, and Timmy. Timmy's been with her ever since he was a baby. Betty and Lorraine have been together their whole life. I will say they definitely need to be taken better care of. Inbred or not, there was no use for what I saw there, Dwayne. There was no use in it, dude. If people could have walked in the house for a few seconds, you would change your mind about a lot of things. I was not able to stay in there over 30 seconds. If that. When I say dog feces, cat feces, human feces, and urine on the floors, on the walls, in the clothes, in the bed, on the couches, in the floors that had been there so long. It was the first thing I noticed the first time I went there. There was fungus, like white fungus, growing into the feces that was embedded in the floor. At one point in time when Brandon came that day where Betty did what she did and then Adult Protection Services was there, he went to pick up a box and he dropped it. Hundreds of roaches, Dwayne, just scattered. That pizza that the guy gave from Pizza Hut that I took, went, gave Ray that pizza. I came back a few days later, that pizza box was still sitting there. Roaches everywhere, dude, just sitting there. And I wouldn't be surprised knowing Ray if he doesn't just go pick up that pizza and start eating it. I'm not trying to make a scenario that's not there. I'm saying it's within the possibility of Ray doing something like that. Ray likes carrying around those pants that are soiled. And
you tried to help him. You got him those overalls.
Dude, Ray, if you buy him clothes, usually he wants to take it off as soon as he gets home, and he wants to go back to the other stuff with no belt.
Mm-hmm.
Not the next day, but they said the day after that, Ray went and got his overalls and put it on himself, gave himself a bath, and then put on the overalls. And one of my favorite moments the other night, dude, was taking him to the bowling alley because he has to pee. Ray has to go to the bathroom every 20 minutes. Just
he's in the 70s. When you get our age, it gets a little.
I understand, not putting him down, but he does. And before, he started making progress. When he was using the bathroom, I went over there washing my hands because I had my hand on his belt loop, and God knows what was on the jeans. Not doing that in a derogatory way, but he came over and he saw me doing it, and he came and laid out his hand. And I said, "You want to wash your hand?" And I put the soap in, and then I wiped it on his hands. And he sat there looking at me with the soap in his hand. So I started going, "Ray." And I went all the way up. It's like, "Do it like this." He mimicked everything I did from that moment on with his arms and then putting it in the water. And then I gave him a napkin to dry it off. And then he did a little bit, just took off, and it was still wet. But that was an improvement. Just a simple washing of the hands.
Your biggest critics cannot deny that the time that you were there working with them, they flourished, they learned, they were happy. And I mean, even your biggest critics.
Well, they will.
Well,
it's okay. I didn't do it for them.
Right. Yeah.
How about them apples? I didn't do it for you. I give a shit what you say. It speaks for itself. And if you don't want to admit that, then the problem's with you.
Yeah.
Because I did and I wasn't there for any other. The majority of the things that I did, Dwayne, was not on camera. The worst one, being Ray's puke out of my car at 1:00 in the morning, was not on camera.
You're getting a couple things may hurt a little bit, but in a good way. But people are saying Eric is the sheet. It's more of kind of a good kind of
No,
a.
I'm not. No, I'm not, guys. This is something that we as a society used to do. And it wasn't something to put on YouTube and become famous overnight for. We're supposed to get 1 million views because we go and cut someone's grass that needs help. We're supposed to get millions of views because you took someone grocery shopping. This was the thing that blew my mind this whole time, Dwayne. There was nothing special going on. I was a content creator that went above and beyond making videos and doing all this special editing. And you might get 100, if you're lucky, 1,000 views or something sometime. And then here it comes. And I can give a bag of potato chips to Lorraine or help her put
Million
on
views.
shoes and 1 million views. Has the world really gone that mad that was that big of a deal?
That's what Brain and I have talked about. I mean, you know me and the stuff that I do. I get 100 views at best after 10 hours of creation, editing, and everything else. You give some tater chips out, and you get 1 million views in a minute and 10,000 comments.
That
What
was
is wrong with this world?
that was a testament to how much people love that family. And I have to say, the three that people fell in love with are the ones that are the biggest victims in this. And I would say suffering the consequences, but I'm conflicted on this, guys. If tonight they are clean, fed,
And safe.
safe, watched over, in a clean bed, warm, not in their own feces. It's a rough one, dude.
How was that wrong?
It's a rough one. If this was any other family in anybody else's community, they would have went ballistic. But because it was this family that we all loved and adored and knew there were challenges in their past, I think this story was allowed to go too far. I really do. I think the Whitakers probably should have had somebody step in and try to do something 40 plus years ago. I mean, I can't say that I wasn't there, but I would imagine from what I've seen, there should have been something years ago. So I knew I could get them that house. And they were getting that house.
Yeah.
Now there's no family to go in that house. There's Betty and Larry. And whether that family will ever be back, I don't know. And I would not put it past the way people want to make content and they need attention so bad. Somebody go into Betty and Larry and let's start a YouTube channel, maybe even BJ.
Right. Yeah.
That's why people smoke crack.
People
Yeah.
are asking, do you know, are the three of them together in the same facility? Are they at least able to see each other?
I don't know.
Okay.
I can tell you from the conversation that I had with them, the first one where I went and met with them with Timmy, that was a concern. And the reason I was told that they didn't ever take them in the past is that they didn't want to separate them because they knew the bond that was there with the family. You're talking about people that went above and beyond to keep this from happening, dude. I mean, seriously, I saw it.
What was your experience like with your mom? And when she did I mean, she ever talk about families being split up when she was doing her?
No, not really, because with Pathways, they were allowed to come and get them and take them home, on the weekends or when they needed them. That type of person needs around the clock care. And unfortunately, most of the time at a home, there's nobody there to give them that care that they need. So it's actually kind of a blessing in a way. It's like I can come and get you and spend quality time with you. And then when I'm not with you, there's somebody there that's providing all those needs. They become very close with those caretakers. Very, very close. And that you see the way Lorraine and Ray and Timmy was getting close with me. If they get caretakers that could be there every day and they become familiar faces and they have routine, I think they can flourish. I could have done it. I could have done it with them, dude. I was one of the very rare people that if I walked up right now, I'd get Lorraine to talk to me. I promise you I can. I know I can. She'll greet me and I can ask her. She is a woman of very few words. You want to hear something I've never said? She's the smartest one of the family. You might not think so because she's not talking. Lorraine's bullshit detector is good. She is the smartest one in that family. I've seen it. But when she speaks, she's trying to let you know something. If there's somebody that can connect with her, that's going to be the one I would think that would be the hardest, because she doesn't trust easily. I can tell she doesn't trust just anybody. If somebody just walks up to her, they're going to be met with a stone face. Hey, are you doing okay? I ain't looking at you. I ain't talking to you. That's who she is, dude.
We discussed getting Timmy teeth too.
Yeah, and hopefully, I'd love to see them get teeth. I was wanting to get Timmy teeth. Betty told me she didn't think Timmy would. She said he's not going to wear teeth. I would have at least liked to try. If he didn't want them, he didn't have to have them. But I would have liked to have tried. Yeah. Betty, he didn't want them. I do feel sorry for Betty right now, dude. I do. I mean, yes, I'm hurt with the way Betty did me. I am. It hurt the shit out of me, guys.
You can tell in the video.
For me to do what I did, to get that treatment, to be going through this online in the comments that I've been going through and having to defend myself after that work that I did. Yes, it tore me apart inside. And I still grieve for the fact that she's not with her family.
I'm just looking at.
No family needs to be broken, dude. You understand what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I mean. It sucks being on screen and feeling like you have to. I wish no families got broken. This is one of those situations.
Which is what you did before you came here. Dad Talk today. The ultimate goal is to keep them together.
Much different manner. Yeah. And then I do know one thing I would like to clear up. I have had people nonstop. Eric, get Timmy. Take him with you. Take Timmy with you.
Yeah.
Adopt him. That day, the first meeting with Adult Protection Services, they brought paperwork talking to me about guardianship. I was there to talk with him about BJ, I thought. And I said, first, I need to talk to my wife and Betty and Patrick. I was still being loyal at this point. I was like, I can't do that to any of them. I was like, that's a big responsibility. But they did not have anybody. If something happened to Betty, there was nobody there to make the medical decisions for that family. No one. I don't think there was no wills, DNRs, nothing. I was trying to get all that set up for the family. The most basic of things that most families have, they didn't have any of it.
Right.
And I'm not going to do something like that. I would love Timmy to death, would love to take him my home, show him new experiences and all that stuff. I have no desire, none, to take Timmy away from Lorraine. It would be the death of her. In my opinion, it would be the death of her. I couldn't do it. If something happened to Lorraine and they said, we don't know what's, gonna, absolutely. I love that kid like he's my own. So weird calling somebody older than me a kid. It is. But I honestly don't think about it.
I get it
out because I know he's older than me, but he really is, dude. He's just a big kid. Mark can tell you.
Hmm.
He wants somebody paying attention to him, and he eats it up, dude. For so many years, he didn't get it. If something happened to her, yes. But would I want to take Timmy away from her? I could not do that, dude. Nope. Sorry for anybody that thought I would want to, so I can make videos of them and have a cash cow. That's not me, bud.
Yeah. I'm trying to see any more. I mean, the comments are going like crazy, of course.
I think we've about done it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a big one, though. I'm glad I thought about that there at the end. And it's a hard time to, it's like the shutting of the book.
It is a shame.
And the whole thing's a shame.
I can put it.
If you think I got involved with this and did all that work for it to end like this, you're crazy.
Yeah, someone from the outside, of course, knowing you and knowing, I looked at it from the outside in a lot, and for the first time in quite a while, I started having some hope in the human race.
Dude, this is what the internet needs. For the first time, and please, guys, if there's anything I can say to you, those videos are still up at the moment. I don't know what's going to happen with them in the future. There were still really good moments in there.
Hmm?
Me getting Ray to the knee doctor, him getting his first shower, and me rubbing down, that medicine on his knee. I'll go a step further. Timmy going fishing with Patrick for his first time, catching that big fish. Even there were so many good moments that happened. Don't let the whole thing become this right here. I understand that's what people are probably going to think, and unfortunately it sucks when people mention soft white underbelly in the Whitakers. They think of what happened there at the end. There was so much more that went on there with Mark, and so much more that went on here than this. This is what I was trying to avoid. I was really hoping if I could separate the money, this would all just go away. And it was a pipe dream.
Sadly. Yeah.
It was a pipe dream. And it was not just that. That was, Betty, the choices she made with BJ.
That one was, in a way, a surprise. Even when I was watching the video when APS came out to pick them up, hearing that it was you caused they caused.
They did that.
Yeah, her being her picking BJ over that. That's why they were there.
Said that in the video.
Yeah, I'll have to. I'm hoping I didn't imagine that.
I never watched it, Dwayne.
There was a section. Boy, I almost want to pull the video up just to make sure I'm not misquoting. But there was a part where the APS lady was there, and there was a question. I could have swore. Again, there's been so much stuff, but it was like that's why it was happening.
I did see after that. Everything was good, and Timmy's eating sandwiches one day until a stranger from Georgia came up here and messed it up.
Yeah.
Stranger? I was the one doing all the freaking work.
That he invited.
And for the life of me, I've tried to think, why did he want me to get involved? That was what he started.
Okay, some
I had credibility, and I tell you, anybody from the outside in, not from this area, that was supporting him, come to this area and ask around, and you'll find out what you need to know. It was that bad. He needed someone credible.
That's why he wanted you to get on video with him so soon.
He was begging me to get on video with him, dude. I've got the messages from that. He started going off on me. Dude, you said this was going to be a 2-person thing. It was supposed to be me and you won't come on camera. I'm starting to think there's something fishy. I told him again, I was like, I don't want to be on camera. I don't need the attention. I've had attention before. I've been on video. I've done it for years. Go back, guys, and look at Dad Talk Today over the last, what would you say, Dwayne, 2.5 years? When the podcast started becoming very sporadic.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas before it was a weekly thing.
About a year or two, yeah.
I've been on a break, dude. I didn't want to get on camera. How many times have you asked me to get on video? And I was like, I don't feel like it.
A couple times, and you're like, nope, you want to play some zombies.
Yeah.
You do anything but get on camera.
It's, there's a time and a place for it. I have to be in the mood. And there's sometimes I just don't, I want to be the guy in the background. This ain't fun.
Gotta be in the middle.
This is not fun.
Just like
No.
ground and pound.
Yeah. He's talking about my wife.
Yeah.
When I get home.
We've been making little jokes about you being away from your wife for so long.
Yeah.
Everything.
She's got a smile on her face hearing that. She knows I got frustration.
Oh, yeah.
I don't miss her so bad, dude. There's been so many nights up here. I'm like, I just wish I had my wife with me.
Yeah, well, I mean, people are saying, hey, time to go and spend time with your family and be with them and all that. Yeah, I know for the people that think that it's great.
I want to hear from them before I go, dude.
Yeah.
Go to Universal Studios.
Timmy was going to go to Universal Studios. There was a lady. She had.
Oh, boy. Yep.
She had 10 tickets that she was giving to me and my family to take. Betty had just said it, and Timmy was looking so forward. That was our thing, E.T.
Yeah.
I wanted him to get on that E.T. ride. Yeah.
Yeah. For the people that think that it's a joy, I mean, like, for me, like personally, I worked a 10-hour day and then I've been on here for almost 3 hours with you. You've been going the last 3 weeks nonstop. Yeah, it's not fun. But
no, I took a bad fall. Luckily, I'm not hurting as bad as I thought it would be right now.
I wish I would have recorded that. It would have been funny at some point in the future, but not. I'm sure not right then. But yeah, we were talking, and all of a sudden the phone just.
Dude, I don't know what that's about. I saw like some message pop up talking about somebody getting death threats and can't even go home.
Oh, good.
I don't know who. I don't know who in the world. I don't know. I don't care who you're talking about on there. Like, people need to simmer down. That's what I said. This thing ain't. There's no fun to it. There's people all over the board with their emotions and their conspiracies and conclusions and stuff like that. Nobody, I don't know if they're talking about the Whitakers or Patrick or what. Nobody needs to be doing stuff like that, guys. I think there's been enough damage done. Leave it alone. I didn't even want to make this, honestly. I was getting. So Betty's missing.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if there's any validity to that, dude. I just had a message that came in and said Betty's missing. That's what I'm talking about, dude.
Well, sorry.
Like, people, if there was anybody, like, I don't know. And then there was Larry died too, supposedly. Just, I would hope nobody would be doing crap like that, man. This is like the internet needs to cool their butts down. You really do, man. You really do. It was supposed to be documenting something good. It took a wrong turn. And unfortunately, that wrong turn was out there for everyone to see. You need to understand, on my end, I was getting the blame for missing the court date and everything. I had to speak up. And I was hoping to end that tonight. I don't know if any of that is, like I said, true, guys. It was a message that was popping up.
Well, it sounds like, I mean, comments are getting.
It's just crazy. Guys, simmer down. Please. Can't we be civilized anymore in society? again, I guess those little random acts of kindness that I was talking about, Dwayne, they are lost in today's society. It is that bad. Like I said, I watched that with Rampage Jackson's son. I literally watched the internet almost gaslight him into committing murder. Like,
That's insane.
you think it's just fun and a comment and stuff like that, but there's real feelings and real lives and people
Real
attached
people.
to that stuff, dude. This is real life. It's just a comment to you. But on that other side, you are creating negative emotions and, causing trauma. And then with mental health, somebody that gets really excited off of some of this stuff that's going on might think I need to take justice. I would really hope none of that's true.
Yeah. Well, maybe it's just time to end everything and then maybe follow up on that, get a good night's rest, and move forward.
Guys, if I hear something about the family, I'll let you know.
All right. Whoop. Uh-oh. Looks like he froze. All right. Well, I'm going to go ahead and end. Oh, no, he's back. Remove him there. There he is. He's back.
Yeah. It kicked out for a second.
As for, go ahead and
yeah.
update. And, okay. Looks like his phone is blowing up now. Oh, no, he's back again. And upside down. There we go.
Hear me?
I can hear you.
I'll just tell you, anybody calls me with no caller ID, I ain't answering.
Wow. If there's new information, you will update.
I don't. I'm trying to get myself to where I don't have to do any updates. But I got to check into that. So,
yeah.
I'll see you guys. And I hope this provides some clarification. And if it doesn't, I have no interest in doing podcasts and keeping this internet drama going. None. That's it. I think there's been 2 accusations by Patrick out there for me so far, and I think I've squashed it pretty damn good. He's grasping at straws.
That's what it is.
Not even very good straws. And he's grasping hard. I just need to get a break from social media, dude. I did take that break when all that went down because I knew what was coming next.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got to go check on that.
All right. And for everybody else out there, go out there and do some good in the world.
That's
Make
it.
the world a better place, please.
Take somebody grocery shopping. Put on their shoes. Help them to their car. Take their buggy into the store. Yeah. Little stuff like that goes a long way. And when everybody does a little, that creates a lot. And that change, I really was hoping this would inspire other people to find other families like the Whitakers in their community and start doing the same thing. I've been doing stuff like this my whole life, way before the camera was here. That was why I was so invested in it. It shouldn't be that celebrated of a thing. So, all right, man.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Yes.